directly the weed makes you gay. Yo, can I open this window?
No.
No.
I'm sorry. No. The weed directly does. I'm agreeing with you by saying no.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
It's not just like.
Should be.
Oh, it's unlocked already.
Yeah. Just don't be such a
I
woman.
know you have the AC on. But
Yeah. I hear you.
Brought shorts.
I was gonna. I didn't know if. Although this will probably be fine. I closed them for sound quality.
Yeah.
But
No.
it's probably fine though.
Yeah.
To be honest
we'll
with you.
see. It looks good.
It does. It looks. We're going. So.
All right. Cool.
Fuck
it. Windows open. Dude.
I cold open, dude.
Windows open.
I'm
down with it, bro.
I'm a fan of it.
I'm down with it.
What were you saying? You were saving it. It was about gay kids being killed by hero cops.
I don't remember.
That was a joke.
I'll try. Yeah, I don't know. I mean,
I guess do you want to have a conversation about solutions
to what?
To
Are we sure we're getting picked up here? Look how small the bars are. You might want to do a playback.
You think so? Okay.
Trust me. Man, I'm the one who went over. Was like, what was that? I was like, nothing.
Okay, now we're going again.
We're going.
Yeah.
Cool.
No, my thing was, do you want to have the normie conversation around solutions to school shootings?
Yeah. Don't have society be so fucked up. The question is how does that manifest? Right? 60 years ago, you could buy machine guns in the mail and no one was shooting.
When was it's the 80s?
Yeah, I think NFA was the 80s.
Is that was the NFA the one that got rid of fully automatic weapons?
I think so.
Okay, yeah. So that was the 80s. Yeah.
Well, I know that the original. I'm probably gonna fuck this up, but I think the original NFA was in the 30s.
Okay.
And it was
yeah,
we need to do something about all these guys robbing banks with machine guns. Right?
That sounds familiar.
So I think that was the original. I want to say 30.
That's Tommy guns. Drums,
yeah, Tommy guns. I mean, they had Browning BARs, which is just a ridiculously large bullet. It's just gonna punch through anything. Podunk 30s body armor.
Right.
But so they banned machine guns in the 30s. And then, from what I understand, they also wanted to do handguns and some other stuff. And the politicians were like, "No, we're not. We're not. We're just going to do machine guns."
Right.
And then I think it was the 80s. I think Reagan expanded that. He did more gun control.
Yeah.
And then Clinton did the assault weapons ban in 1994.
Got it.
Which expired in 2004.
Got it. Yeah. And has since stayed expired?
Yeah. They haven't passed it again.
Right.
Gun rights right now.
They're probably the best they've ever been. Not ever, but
they're since the 80s, they're the best they've ever been.
And so you have how many constitutional carry states?
Yeah.
20?
Yeah, I think it's about 20. Yeah, I think it's about 20 and change, maybe a little under, maybe a little over.
Yeah.
But you've seen a dramatic increase in the availability of constitutional carry, concealed carry, and a number of other things that you just didn't have in the 80s and 90s.
Right.
But as far as solutions, I mean, are we somehow going to find ways for this guy's junkie mom to get clean and his deadbeat dad to show up?
There are ways.
I mean, there are ways.
Yeah, right.
I mean, the kid's dad got interviewed, and you want to know what he said? Why he didn't see his kid?
I don't know, because he's
gay. No. You want to know what he said?
Because of white supremacy?
No, the dad is a COVID freak.
Is that true?
The 42-year-old deadbeat dad who never sees his kid is a COVID freak, right?
Well, or it's a sympathetic.
Yeah. Well, exactly. Yeah. So that's what he said. Right. He said, "My son stopped talking to me because I was concerned about COVID, and he was frustrated about my COVID concerns."
Were the parents together?
No, I don't think so.
Duh. Yeah. That's a stupid question.
So from what I understand, the mother, he shot his grandma right before he left the house.
Is that what happened? I actually don't know.
You don't know? All right, we'll run through it. We'll run through it for anyone else who doesn't know or who only watched the news broadcast.
Yeah.
About Beto O'Rourke screaming at the governor or whatever.
Yeah. Cool guy. He skateboards.
Yeah. So right. He's also a fucking Irish guy who LARPs as a Mexican. Robert O'Rourke. Yeah, sounds super Mexican, dude.
Right.
So I don't know if I'm assuming his mom either didn't have custody and he lived with the grandma, or the mom had custody but the grandma took care of him.
Some ratchet bullshit.
Because he shot the grandma before he left. So allegedly, and it's hard to know because these details change every hour. They tinker with the psyop every hour. They're like, how is this best gonna fuck with everybody's head? Was
that the one that was the training one and then
that got debunked.
And then wasn't.
So from my understanding, he immediately was getting like called a tranny.
Yeah.
And that got debunked. They were using photos of like a different person.
Okay.
Who people thought. And I feel like now, especially after Sam Hyde, who I love Sam Hyde, but like he did the whole thing where he convinced his followers to just say he was the most recent mass shooter. Like when people, you don't know. And it's a digression.
It's aggressive.
Sam Hyde's the best comedian currently today.
So him, actually Sam Hyde, or like the shooter's name is Sam Hyde?
No, Sam Hyde's a different guy. He's not the shooter. Oh, maybe he is.
Yeah.
But anyways, like now it's kind of just a meme.
Oh, is that the kid's name?
No, that's not the kid's name. Now, because of Sam Hyde...
I just don't want you to know whether you're coming or going.
Because Sam Hyde did this, and I don't even know if he did it or just like he like joked and his fans took it seriously. I don't really know.
It sounds funny.
But the point is, people now will just like meme fake shooter pictures. Because they know that, like...
It's fucking dark.
They know that... Yeah, it is. But people on the internet know that, like media networks, especially ones that... And I love alternative media. I love, like, breaking the binary or whatever. I love that there's challenge to the corporate press. But a lot of these, like, new independent sites that have, like, big Twitter pages or Facebook pages, right? Yeah. Like, they just jump on a story immediately.
Sure,
because,
absolutely.
like, they understand that, like, in the modern climate, that's, like, how you make money.
It's
right?
just first.
It's first.
Oh,
if you're not first, you're last.
If you ain't first, you're last.
And no one gives a shit about the retraction.
Absolutely.
So you better make that headline stick.
Definitely.
We don't care if it's fake. No one's going to read the retraction. Just make it good. Right?
It's almost a better psyop if it is a fake tranny.
So,
that's like the best psyop ever.
So a lot of like independent sources jumped all over the pictures. There was a different trans person who got their picture spread and said, "Oh, this is the shooter." Turns out it's a different person.
Did they like show their butt?
I don't think so. I think it was they were in like a skirt. They were in like a skirt and like the pride. Oh yeah, and like no, it was from the front. It was from the front.
Okay, well they're all the same.
Yeah, they showed their front hole.
That's their.
They
butt.
showed their their
it's
front.
All just a butt.
Yeah, sure. But it wasn't him.
See how good at this I am?
Yeah, it's true. And then that person started getting death threats, which is why people had to be like, oh no, we have to straighten this out. People were like, okay, no, this isn't.
Ones too,
actual actual actionable death threats, right? Because people were like, I thought this guy got killed in Texas, and now this fucking trans dude in my grocery store is a mass killer 4 states away. You know, I don't know what was happening.
How great would it be if just like there was a massacre of trans people?
That's what they say. That's what they say will happen. Like if you take the left's rhetoric on the face, they'd be like, actually, you doing this puts trans people in danger.
But then everything gets better.
I mean, yeah. I don't want anyone to get mass murdered. I'm anti-mass murder.
But then there's no more school shootings.
Yeah, right. I'm anti-mass murder. Well, no, from what I think, I'm pretty sure this is the first.
I'm also not joking.
Yeah.
None of this is a joke.
No, I know you're not.
I'm really serious about this.
Yeah. I've come out on the record as anti-mass murder, and you're very serious. It's a good balance.
We're trying to find solutions.
Right? Yeah, I guess.
Pew pew.
Yeah. Well, that's it.
Pew pew in the
certainly one solution to any problem you may have.
Every mixed bathroom and Molotov it.
Yeah. Well, I mean that's not going to work because a lot of places just like they're like, oh, we have to have multiple bathrooms.
Nice.
Here's what they do.
Send the guy in.
No. Here's what they do. They'll say, oh, we'll just have one bathroom.
Right.
That saves a ton of money and a ton of space. We only need one plumbing hookup.
Yeah.
We only need one thing. We only need one bathroom. I only need to yell at my minimum wage employees to clean one bathroom instead of 2 bathrooms. Lit, dude. That's awesome.
Or Greg
you're gonna
go in there.
You're gonna Molotov this place, and it's gonna be like a normal person.
Or Jessica.
Yeah, I mean it could be.
Just go into the ladies'
It could be.
I'm sorry.
No, don't be sorry. You're expressing yourself.
It's way more. This is why. What I'm doing.
Trust me, Dan. I don't feel responsible.
What I'm doing is
low
grade performance art because this is all like.
I don't believe in art. Art is gay.
It's just. Real art.
Just kidding. I like art very much.
Well, real art, if we're talking about historical avant-garde offending the audience, is murder all trans people because school shootings will stop. Because that's actually offensive.
I mean,
that's like one of the most offensive things I can think of. And that's what art is.
You can look under
art isn't like a fucking shadow of a AK next to a fucking crib or something with like a question mark on Reddit. And they're like, wow, America. Mm-hmm. That's not art. That's just propaganda. That's just gay psyop propaganda. Mm-hmm. Like, babies on coat hangers and shit on Twitter.
Yeah, that stuff was wild, man. That stuff was wild. But back to the shooter.
Yeah.
So he wasn't are they? I don't know what he went. Some of them are he. Some of them are they. Some of them are he. They.
I think it is a guy, right?
It was a guy.
Yeah.
So apparently he wasn't trans. But he was a pronoun person.
Okay.
So he did.
That's
I believe. Thing? Yeah. Okay. I believe. Well, that's my term for it. But I
hear you. Yeah.
When someone's like not trans or like not gay.
Yeah.
But like they're still like they have their pronouns in their bio and all their social media, and like they like get mad about microaggressions. Like, okay, you're a pronoun person. Yes. Like the guy who attacked Dave Chappelle on stage was a pronoun person.
Is that true?
Is that what it was? Yeah. He wasn't.
Is that why?
Yeah.
It is.
He posted about it on Twitter.
Oh.
He posted about Dave Chappelle twice within like a month of the event, saying like if he doesn't stop coming for my like trans homies, like I'm gonna fuck him up.
Really?
Yeah, and then DA Gascon didn't press any charges against him.
I didn't hear that.
No, you didn't. No, you didn't. And then the DA didn't press any charges.
It was just a crazy guy.
A guy ran on stage in front of 10,000 people and tried to stab a comedian. And he did not get brought up on any charges.
Yeah. Is that... Holy fuck.
He made threats about this beforehand. And this isn't me to be like, oh my God, a guy made threats and tried to stab you. You live in America in 2022. People are going to try to stab you, right? This is why you either need to like have a gun or you need to have private security like Dave Chappelle did, and they fucked that guy up.
And they like broke his hand and fucked him up.
Yeah, exactly. Don't start none. Won't be none.
Right.
But he made like threats. There's that proves it's premeditated.
Yeah. Right.
Like if you killed your girlfriend,
that's basically attempted murder.
If you killed your girlfriend and a month before, or tried to kill your girlfriend, and you posted on Facebook or Twitter a month before, I'm gonna kill this bitch. I fucking hate her. Like she's gonna put me over the edge one day.
Right.
Like they would make the argument like, no, this is a first degree attempted murder because he's premeditated this and talked about it ahead of time.
And I don't disagree with that.
No, you have free speech. You can say whatever the fuck you want. No one's going to stop you, but you better believe that, like, if you commit a violent act, they're going to use your speech against you.
And you can't go through with it.
No. No. And you better expect, like, if we had a functional society, you would expect, like, the person to get brought up on charges and for the DA to say, this is a premeditated crime. You're going to jail. Right. Like, I'm getting you away from normal people who, like, want to go to a comedy show.
You need to go into a cage for a little while.
Yeah. Like, there's a big difference between, like, first and third degree assault.
Absolutely.
Like, there's, a huge difference.
Definitely.
No charges. No nothing. He was a pronoun person, that guy. And he posted on Twitter beforehand.
Weird flex, but okay.
Yeah, apparently the shooter in Texas was also a pronoun person.
Sure.
I don't know if they were non-binary. I don't know what their identity was. I just know they were a pronoun person because there was a lot of coverage of their social media because he talked about shooting people. He told some girl about it.
Right.
And apparently there was a Discord that he was in with the Buffalo shooter.
So, no, I don't. Really?
Yeah. No, I don't know. I don't think him.
They're like the Dudley Boys of murder.
No, I don't think they ever communicated.
Okay. Yeah.
But I think they were just in the same Discord server, which probably had hundreds, if not thousands, of people. Like, there's no limit. At least I don't think there's a limit on how many people can be in a Discord server.
Right.
And so he apparently talked about it beforehand, and then his grandma saw.
So do you like red flag law this guy?
Well, that's the best part. They knew who he was. He talked about killing people multiple times.
Yeah.
He was, I believe... No, that was the Buffalo guy. But they knew. The school knew.
And it was the FBI, right?
The school knew. The cops knew. They knew who this guy was. They knew who his mom was.
Right.
They were familiar with, like, him making terroristic threats.
Yeah.
And so, allegedly, he got a credit card with a multi-$1,000 limit.
Is that what it was, a credit card?
Yeah. A credit card to pay for it. It could have also been a financing plan. So, like...
Sure, whatever.
So, maybe he didn't get a credit card. Maybe he went to the gun store and he put a big order and they said, hey, we can finance this. It's not uncommon for FFLs to allow you to do a financing through their own credit person.
Right.
So, like, whoever they use for their merchant services or their credit services, they're able to do financing through those people, and just, like, I'm sure that it's a higher rate.
It's like Chevy credit.
Yeah, exactly. It's like the place when you drive down the road and it says, no outside financing. We do all of our leases and loans inside, right? Like, you're going to get fucked, but if you're going to go murder fucking 20 people and you get shot by the cops, like, you're going to pay your debts to?
Huge asshole, savage, financially savvy.
Yeah, it was a financially, don't pay your debts.
Yeah, right.
So,
who's going to pay for these guns?
So that is a big part that I think people are focusing on. Yeah. Exactly. Is like, how did he get the money? How did he do that? Bro, look around.
It's also like a red herring.
It's not, like, it's really not a big deal.
And also, well, yeah. Right.
Well, it is a big deal, but it's not, it's not a mystery.
And it's not that relevant.
Credit is not very hard to get in this country.
Absolutely.
This country runs on debt.
That's all it is.
I had multiple credit cards arriving for me when I turned 18 with like a 27 APR.
Absolutely.
Like 28, pretty much a 30% interest rate.
It's also, again, it's not relevant, because
it's really not.
You know what I mean?
It's really not.
Yeah.
Businesses are allowed to have financing plans. Credit cards are allowed to sell to 18-year-olds.
But that's a decent example of how like weird this has become.
Yeah.
And the white pilling I have on this, I guess, if there is one, which there isn't. And again, like in all seriousness, like it is brutally fucked up. We should talk about a culture that drives prescription drugs into listless, depressed young men. Mm-hmm. Like that is, and it isn't, but I'm saying it for effect. Like, it's not a mental health crisis. Like, it is by design. Like,
it's a culture crisis.
It is a culture crisis.
Yeah,
like, this is not, there isn't a singular diagnosis that you can point to that you can avoid to reduce the outcomes like this.
Correct.
So therefore, it is not like, you know what I mean? What I'm saying? This like it's not like a mental health. Like it is the turtle.
That's one part of it.
It is the layer of turtles upon turtles that contribute to a dysfunctional, highly aggressive, deeply narcissistic society that produces. And this is what's so interesting too. And I'm with you. I'm done having the debate me argument around 2A and mental health, etc. However, for a like extremely small time, I'm going to contradict myself and do that.
Yeah, I mean, you still have to, if you are confronted by people who are on the other side, like you have to know what you're talking about, and you have to be prepared to be like, no, you're wrong.
Absolutely.
And not only are you wrong, you're like accessory to like evil.
Well,
you're not just like this isn't just me thinking we should have a lower tax rate.
Absolutely.
Like you want the government to disarm me.
Right.
So there's no recourse if anything happens.
And so okay.
Yeah. So it's not, there's one thing to say like I'm tired of the debate, which I am too. Like we're both in the same spot. But you have to be ready to throw down.
So I'm happy to quickly. The one way to jujitsu this or judo this is that if let's posit the question, which there are way too many jokes, but let's posit the question that we are in an all-female society.
Okay.
This doesn't happen.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah, probably not.
So because the reason we know that and why this is a thought. Hold on, let me finish.
Yeah, sure.
Why this is an academic, type of argument designed for the debate me bro types is that I'm alluding to the fact that there is a hyper-specific profile that is attached to all of these
It's true.
killers.
No, you're absolutely right.
So when we are able to, there are multiple, the lowest form of denomination is the gun. The gun is the least descriptive piece of evidence that we have. We have, 15 to 30 deeper descriptive categorizations that describe these people. They're men. They're young.
Yep.
They are attacking schools.
Mostly fatherless.
They're almost exclusively fatherless.
They're on drugs.
They're almost
SSRIs.
exclusively on drugs. They're almost exclusively talking about it in some way.
They almost exclusively go to public school.
They almost exclusively They almost exclusively have an alter ego online.
Yep.
So when we're talking about the debate me bro scenarios, so I'm now leaving that. Right? Because that's one way to articulate it, right?
Yeah.
If we lived in an all-woman society, this wouldn't happen. Therefore, it cannot be the guns, right? By definition. So let's now have the conversation that identifies these core commonalities that are far more descriptive. And we can sort of take them one at a time. One of them, and again, it's the second least descriptive, but it is still more descriptive than guns, is the fact that they are men. That's the first one.
Yeah.
The next least descriptive but still useful is that they're young.
Yeah.
So let's start on that, right?
Right.
So there are preconditions for young men, regardless of deeper cultural rot, which we're going to get to in a second, which applies to this culture. Mm-hmm. But are we going to make the argument that young men aren't dangerous? And have never been dangerous throughout history?
Yeah, I mean...
like, is that really what we're trying to say? Are we saying that they're...
Us? No. The general, like, atmosphere? I mean? Yes.
You know what I mean, though? Like,
yeah. No, like, so they're trying to say that all the men throughout history were dangerous, and now they're not anymore because we're enlightened.
Right. So therefore... right.
And it's now that we made you all weak and round and smushy, right? Now you're not dangerous, and that's good. That's kind of, but
civilization is good.
Yeah, no, it is. But the soyification of men is not good. Well, and like the destruction of masculinity is not good.
Well, so this is my point,
and we're supposed to believe it is, right? But when these things happen, the idea that men are dangerous is not really avoidable.
Well, it's so funny too, right? Because again,
Radfem broadcasts.
Well, listen, man, you know how I feel about this stuff. I mean, I am and I'm not using this to be pithy. Yeah. Like, I am an actual feminist.
Yeah, there we go.
I am. I'm way more. If you have blue hair, I'm way more.
That's
of a
the thing
too.
Is you could talk to someone who's like more of an extreme right winger, and they'll be like, "You're a feminist." You'd be like, "Yup."
Like, correct.
Yup.
Dummy.
You want to fight?
You know what I mean? Yeah. Like, dummy. Yeah. You're so anti-woman.
Yeah, nigga, I love my wife. What's up?
And you're so anti-woman that you want women to work.
Yeah.
Retard.
Yeah.
Like, so shut the fuck up.
Yeah.
Like, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, are you an idiot? Anyway,
you want to tax cattle your women?
Yeah, dude, shut the fuck up.
I'm an Italian. I'm a Mediterranean. You telling me that I could just fucking not have to go to work?
Right.
That sounds great.
Yeah.
I know to you and your Anglo sensibilities, that sounds terrible.
Yeah, right.
I'm an Itai.
Yeah.
The idea of not having to work anymore and someone just fucking takes care of me,
hey, man,
that's great. It doesn't work as a man because eventually they'll think you're weak and all these other things, and it's not a sustainable structure. But like if you're a chick, man.
And the white man's burden excludes the false.
Yeah. Colonialism was good, actually.
Man.
Yeah.
So anyway, so real quick. Yeah. So part of this is, and again, we are having a nuanced, complex, multivariate conversation that is interesting, right? And even I'm gonna try to get away from the meme funniness because we should have a conversation about it. And it's interesting, and I've done whatever. So one real core piece of this is that we as a society and as a culture, and I don't know when the line of demarcation is, have come to be shocked when young men are extremely violent.
Yeah.
And that the idea, any culture that assumes young men are not extremely violent is extremely naive.
Yeah.
Or extremely evil. You know that.
Right.
So that's piece number one, right? Like, I don't want to be, because it's funny because it is shocking and it's awful, and
it's like your boy says, your boy JP, you should be a monster. Society should have structures in place to fail safe that, right?
Absolutely.
Like they should have things to channel these kinds of things. You should have non-state structures which are designed to sort of mollify these things, or if there's someone who's too far gone, like you need to do something about
this kid,
right?
And so I'll say some other things, right?
Yeah.
That I don't know, but I do know, right? Mm-hmm. This kid was not a part of a tight-knit male club group sport that engaged in physical combat activity or objectives.
I don't know that, but I do. Let me finish. I said I don't know the answer to that, but I am willing to completely believe that is the case.
And
I have no empirical stuff to back it up. 100% believe it. 100% believe it.
And when he was 7 and a Boy Scout doesn't count.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
This is so now we've peeled back another layer.
Let me guess. Loner on psychiatric drugs with no dad?
This is what I mean. So we don't have a gun problem. We don't have a man problem. Even though I just said what I said, right? We don't have a man problem because that is the second lowest common denominator description.
Right.
We don't have a young man problem, right? Mm-hmm. Because now we do in a lot of ways, and this is symptomatic of that. Mm-hmm. But again, we're taking away we're now at, level 6 of description. So gun, fine, not useful. Mm-hmm. Man, sort of useful, but not that useful. Young, sort of a little better, right? Like, you know, Stephen Paddock was a Fed, so take
yeah.
You know,
I mean, he's old too.
That's
so
what I'm saying.
He's like the outlier.
This is what I'm saying.
There are some old ones, but they're outliers.
And he was a Fed.
Yeah,
in my opinion.
Yeah.
So so again, right? So Young gets a little better, but not quite. I think the one that you can really have the conversation with me about that really starts to dig at the, I guess it's 1 and 1A is, and this is too descriptive to be useful right now, but we'll get there. Is social media? It's not even social media. Is online participation, right? Is now we're getting somewhere.
Yeah.
And the other are prescription drugs.
Yeah.
Those that now we're getting to it.
Yes.
Because now we're starting to, and again, even that's not enough because there are still a shit ton of men who do this. Now, add father.
Yeah.
Now, add no close-knit, tangible touch grass scenarios.
Man,
not only are you, and it's not that you're 50% terminally online. You're 99% terminally online.
Yeah.
Now we're having a conversation because we're at the level of conversation where the multivariate descriptors create commonalities across Dylan Roof and Adam Lanza and fucking the Columbine kids and whatever. Now we're at the conversation. Now we've dug through the evidence to arrive at a reasonable conclusion. Now is where we actually have the solution conversation, right? Now is where we have the solution conversation. So in the debate me bro scenario, this is where we are. Now we can have a conversation around what are the methodologies that we as a society should be moving toward in order to reduce the volatility of these people, right?
Yeah, I mean, having a civil conversation about how to solve the issue would be nice.
I'm having it with you.
Oh, okay, gotcha.
And that's it.
Yeah, sure.
And we can take this one way, we can take this show and this episode one way or the other.
Right.
And I'm happy to do it. I'm also happy to have the funny meme conversation, which is fine because that's what this is. This is all clown world.
Bro, I'm down.
Whatever.
I'm down for it all.
Or
I've leaned in too far. I don't know what's real and what's not anymore.
Or we can have the JBP,
No, whatever. I mean, I think I'm definitely fine.
No
I'm
fact
fine with
checks,
that. Yeah, no fact checks. No.
I mean, that is a funny
that whole saga was hilarious.
It is
dude.
funny.
He's one of my favorite internet boomers.
He's fantastic.
He's one of my favorite internet boomers.
He couldn't have written anything more funny.
He's like the
what was it? Authoritarian?
In terms of like how he interacts with the internet, he's like the inverse of like Trump boomer on the internet. Like Trump, and not in a way, the internet's like it's like the cool kids and not cool kids.
Yeah.
And I feel like Trump is just like was like the cool guy
on
the internet, the coolest guy
who ever lived.
Yeah, he was just like the coolest guy on the internet.
Yeah.
And JP is a guy who like has a lot of really cool stuff to say and is like a really smart dude.
Absolutely.
But he's just like not very popular. He is. I know he's wildly popular.
I know.
But you know what I mean when he has these little meltdowns on the internet.
He does.
And it's clear that as a boomer, he doesn't really grasp how to like interact with these tools. And obviously, he knows how to use them to get his message out, and he's very successful. And
also,
everything.
like, no shit.
Yeah, like why would he? Why would he? That's one of the things that made Trump extraordinary. Is he was able to do it as a 70-something-year-old man.
Yeah.
This is not me hating on JP.
I hear it.
This is just me
totally get it.
pointing out like how like older people on the internet can have like different rules of engagement and different ways of communicating. That most people who've grown up with the internet are like, what the fuck are you doing?
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
What are you doing?
Like, and this is one thing you see with like blue checks who say the craziest shit.
Yeah.
And they get like hella flack. And they're like, I'm being harassed and verbally assaulted by these people. Yeah. And she's what, like 40-something years old?
I know she's old as fuck.
Yeah. But
I thought she was like 21.
Yeah. No, there was a lot of debate about her age.
That was you're right.
That was the thing. Right. Yeah, that was the whole thing. I'm talking about more about the older ones who are around JP's age, and like they're like so surprised that like they said something crazy and everyone started dumping on them.
Yeah, right.
And they're just like they're not following the same rules of engagement. That's all. But in terms of like solutions, I mean, I think you're right. Why are the kids being given so many drugs? After the last few years, there's like
bananas,
the last few years, there's no.
They all have fucking crazy eyes.
They all have SSRIs.
All of
SSRIs. Yeah. after the last few years, it's like undeniable the influence Big Pharma has on the country.
And
right?
like take away the 150,000 ODs that we have.
Straight
up add these shootings. Like that's what these are.
Man, dude, they convince people to give these vaccines to their kids.
Right.
You think they're gonna have a problem giving them Adderall?
Right.
So they were completely comfortable.
Yeah.
With all the COVID mumbo jumbo,
and
all of that, the vaccination push, they were completely comfortable creating a 2-tiered society. New York City, I'm pretty sure toddlers still wear masks.
Well, it's almost even backwards for this. It's almost even backwards for this. Even 10 years ago, we were fine with fucking giving Klonopin to fucking 11-year-olds. Shit, we fucking jammed the mumbo juice into them.
They're all jammed up. The kids get too many drugs. I honestly, you probably know more than I do because of your line of work in terms of healthcare. But like, I don't know what the incentive structures look like. I mean, I watched the Sackler family movie.
Right.
I understand that in terms of like,
dude,
I do know a little bit about this because there's people who've done research into the trans surgery industry, right?
I don't even.
And that's like a huge. The average person, they get them for like $200K.
So here's it. Right? So here's my, and this is not perfect, but I tend. So you mentioned, and this is not because of the industry I'm in. It's just not. Because whatever. It's just not. I like going back to JBP. I liken this pharmaceutical conversation to the way that Peterson answers the question of inequality, particularly economic inequality. And the way he answers that is a Kathy Newman type or whoever will posit, well, isn't it the truth that capitalism produces inequality? And JBP will answer, yes. But he will also answer, every other system ubiquitously, regardless of scenario or intent or participants or whatever, produces inequality. Inequality is a deeper conversation than even communism. Like, inequality is a fundamental bedrock. It's
a function of nature.
It's a function of existence.
It's a function of nature.
And he uses the example. It's like, there's inequality in trees.
Yeah.
Like Pareto distribution is true across, like, molecules. So you highlighting this superficial argument around capitalism versus collectivism doesn't even scratch the surface of the actual problem. I will relate that to this question in a roundabout way, saying, the question is posited, isn't there, you substitute some nefarious term, greed, Sackler family, mustache twirling.
Yeah.
And my argument is, it is so much deeper than that. That because, yes, are there profit-seeking, rent-seeking corporations that have nefarious motives? Yes.
Yeah.
But there's also
the
mom who is at work and comes home and she just wants to have time with
her 3-year-old on
puts
ADD
her
medicine.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Like
I know what you're saying.
And there's the dad who whatever, who is in a scenario, whatever.
Who's not there.
Who's not there.
We're talking about mass shooters and none of their dads are there.
So there's, you know what I mean? Like, so the pharmaceutical drug conversation is, and there's the, there's the dad who grew up on Adderall or Klonopin or Xanax and assumes that that's the only way to parent.
Right.
So they give their, you know what I mean? So it's like greed and Rothschilds and mustache twirling isn't deep enough. Like there's I'll almost, and again, the pharmaceuticals, and this is really like what this is like the death cult writ large.
Yes.
And pharmaceuticals are the simplest manifestation of the death cult.
Yeah.
And what do I mean by death cult? I mean actual killing yourself OD. I mean, but then I also mean like you're so fucking racked on SSRIs that your dick doesn't work and you can't have sex.
Yeah.
Because that is absolutely what happens.
Yeah.
There's the death cult of you're so fucking blazed out of your skull on Xanax because you have the perception that you're anxious, that you have the perception that you're anxious, and then you create this self-fulfilling prophecy, and then you medicate yourself, which creates a confirmation bias towards further antisocial behavior.
Yes.
And then you pass that along to your kids, and you pass it along to your friends.
For life.
And so it's like, this is, the pharmaceuticals are, and this is where it's interesting, and like, it's even deeper than that.
Yeah.
It's like that, and again, I don't even know that you can have the conversation. It's not even as surface level as fatherlessness. It's like, and to me, the last turtle is God.
It's like it's a toxic cocktail,
and it's this God. Right? And to me, and this is a catch-all, right? Like this is a simple methodology to communicate a complex phenomena, which is there is a purposelessness, godlessness, and what I mean by God is your exemplification across time within the people you know and the story that you tell yourself around emulating the most good, and that's what kind of God and religion and spirituality is, right? It's like how do I manipulate my actions, fight the dragon, accept the grief and sacrifice, and continue to develop in a manner that is toward God or godly, or in the example of Jesus. And when you take those things away, the only thing you have left is indulgence and is sin. That's the only thing you have left, and you can use that in a bunch of different ways. Using drugs is just a fucking byproduct. It's just one more slice of pizza, and at the fucking bulimics table that they're just gonna throw up and use their fucking destroy themselves, but then they're gonna convince themselves that they're doing the right thing, and then they're gonna right. It's deeper than even just drugs.
Right.
That is now maybe if we're back to Earth now.
Yeah.
Maybe the SRIs literally turn off enough
so they do.
Shit in your brain that it doesn't matter.
That's the thing is they do. And we could
but
say,
you know what I mean?
I know exactly what you mean.
It's fucking deeper than that shit.
And they want you dead-eyed consumers that can't reproduce.
Right.
And this tenet of the deep state or the Illuminati or whatever, New World Order, the WEF, whatever you want to call it, it's no longer conspiratorial. They say it.
Oh, it is real. Yeah,
they come out and say it.
Yuval Harari. You're useless eaters.
Yuval Harari, Klaus Schwab, Bill Gates, all these Fox, they come out and say it. You don't have to go to Alex Jones. You can just go look at their latest talks and you can read their white papers. You can go and you can look up their white papers.
Yeah.
They write about it. They talk about it. It's not wild. They want you pacified and sterile.
Right. And if you do happen to get pregnant, they want you to kill the kid.
Yeah. But back, like you said, going back to Earth, the studies exist that say, no, if you're on SSRIs for a long time, it's going to fuck with you in these different ways. And if you're on Adderall and other amphetamines and stimulants for a long time, they're going to fuck you up too. I have a fucking Adderall prescription, and it says this can cause psychotic episodes.
Right.
If you open the insert and read the little booklet, it says that extended use can cause psychotic episodes.
Yeah, and not side effects include heartburn.
And I didn't get prescribed Adderall when I was a little kid, and I didn't get it because I wanted it for my fucking white collar PMC job to crunch more spreadsheets or whatever. I got it because I got in a car accident and had a head injury and couldn't focus on shit for a year. And my doctor's like, I don't know, fucking try some Adderall. And now 2 years later, they're just like, hey, do you want some more? And I'm like, I'm good. I'm set. I have recovered from my injury. They're like, well, you want some more Adderall anyway?
I think it's deeper than they get. I'm sure there's a lot of this. I know there's a lot of this, but it's yes, you get paid for pushing this, and salespeople come in, but it's also again the banality of evil, right? It's it's just something to do.
Well, the
doctor's I don't know.
So the studies are out there that say
I don't hate you and want to take over your life. But this is just something I can
trust
do.
Me, I'm not implying that capital is the sole
I hear it.
The sole motivation for this or anything like that.
Right.
But if you want to talk about what are the real solutions before we can convince normies about the death cult, we have to exhaust our our options of the mortal realm, right?
Exactly.
In reality,
people are greedy. That's something
that every normie can get their mind around,
Absolutely.
right? But you need to exhaust what do the incentive structures look like? Is it like opiates were? Is it like OxyContin and all these other drugs were? Are they doing the same thing where they're incentivizing people to go make partnerships with the doctors to sell the drugs? Blah 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 blah.
Right.
I'm sure that some people are, but I'm also sure that some people aren't getting any compensation whatsoever. Besides what they already get as doctors. Right. And they're just prescribing it because they like it or they've had success with it You know, maybe there's the secret one that's evil and just like likes fucking kids up for the rest of their lives. But regardless of like whether or not the doctors think it's good, the doctors thought the vaccine was great for you.
Absolutely.
The medical establishment, whatever the general consensus of the medical establishment is, I don't trust after COVID anymore.
Correct.
I didn't really trust it. I didn't really trust it before COVID because I had a relative who had a lot of like health issues that were chronically misdiagnosed and like got all fucked up, and like we had to really go outside of the approved consensus to counter some of the things we've been dealing with for years. And I was like half and half. And then COVID happened. I don't fucking believe whatever their general consensus is. So if their general consensus is Adderall is good for kids, actually. Well, I fucking beg to differ. I don't think so.
You're incorrect.
And actually, all your own studies say that it's probably not. Right? Maybe, like, figure out why you need to drug up your kids. Like, maybe figure out, like, why parents are so stupid and lazy and fucked up and, like, can't raise their kids and need to put them on drugs. And then ask why... And then ask the schools, why are you so fucked up that you signed up to have 30 little kids in a room and you can't deal with them running around and screaming? Do you know where you fucking work? Like, do you know what you do?
What did you think? Like, what did you think the 15 9-year-olds were going to do exactly?
Oh man, crazy. Like wild. The kids won't sit still and listen. I'm so fucking surprised. You know what me and my friends would have done in your classroom? We would have like lit stuff on fire.
And that's what happened.
And half of us, not me at the time, but half of my friends were already on Ritalin at 10 years old. And they were the ones who were running around fucking shit up the most. Because their young child destructive energy was hyper-focused.
And you gave them cocaine. And then you...
they're running around doing like 20 different things, and they're so spazzed out, they can't really commit to any one thing. You gave them laser focus. And like, the idea of like, I'm 8 and I want to smash stuff didn't go away. They're like, I know how to smash efficiently. I know how to fuck stuff up.
And I'm super good at it.
Maybe we should ask why these kids all now suddenly need drugs where they didn't until like 20 years ago. Maybe that's why the parents. Maybe that's why the parents can't parent. Maybe that's why the parents can't parent and they need to put the kids on drugs. I don't know. I don't think the answer is just shrug your shoulders and say, well, let's give the kids meth.
Sounds like birth control to me.
Let's give the kids. I mean that's another one. And that's another one that everyone's like, this is like even women who take it. No, I mean some. Obviously there are some. But there are women who take it like, this is not good for me.
Dude, it's
that are like, this is not good for me.
This is crazy. Like this is fucking bananas.
And they still do it. It's the same kind of thing.
Well, what's the fastest way to turn a woman? What's the fastest way to turn a woman into a man? Make it so she can't have kids. Like what is the what? What? You know, what's a woman that cannot have children?
I thought you were going to say watch Black Girl Skit Show.
Well, that's what you know what I'm saying, though? This is like that. This is like that fucking sine curve, retard genius. So we can talk about like, well, it's the families and the schools. Yeah, that's true. So what are actionable steps look like to that? I don't know. Put a fucking camera in every classroom. Like, I don't know. I don't know because I don't know what goes on in these schools. This is why like libs of TikTok exists. Exactly.
Because like people don't know what's going on in these fucking schools.
It's a decent transition into this.
So I'm not like
it's like you just need to not have like total pussy cops. Like that, you know what I mean? Like it seemed like, and like you said, is that not meme, whatever it was, tweet that you sent me true that it was like a dad who killed the shooter? That's true.
It's true.
That's so interesting within the context of the gun conversation too. Because it is the good guy with a gun. One.
150 cops couldn't take down one guy with a gun, and you will see
New Balance dad.
You will see prominent liberals on Twitter and on whatever other social media platform saying this disproves the myth of this person killed 20 people while the cops couldn't do anything because he was so scary and tough with his AR-15. That means the good guy with the gun conversation is over. And it's like, did you not read the fucking end of the story?
It's actually the opposite.
Did you not read the end of the story where a guy was being actively impeded by the police and said, fuck you, I'm going in. Me and my boys. Me and my boys that train together and do martial activities and are part of a close-knit brotherhood of guys who work and live together every day and live in the same community and kids go to the same school said, "Fuck you, taco police.
Yeah.
We're going in.
Yeah.
And you can't stop me."
And
like, what happens if those guys aren't there?
Yeah.
Does the guy just go through the school and kill everybody?
Dude,
is this just Columbine 2.0?
Imagine
if a guy at Supercuts didn't get a call from his wife saying, "Yo, our kid's school is getting shut up.
Hurry up."
Yeah.
And he probably was riding strapped in his truck.
I actually don't know if his kid went there. It was just the town he lived in. So
sure.
I don't know.
Even better.
Yeah. Either way.
No, you know what I mean.
Yeah, I know exactly what you mean.
Like,
I know exactly what you mean. Yeah, I know exactly what you mean.
God damn.
So yeah, I don't know.
Dude, this homie fucking kicked down the door in Skechers.
So yeah, but you cannot. You know what's so interesting? So what you hit on something pretty cool there, actually. So you just mentioned, and I believe, and again, like the close knit thing I said before, I don't know that Skechers' dad is part of I don't know that he's part of a close knit. I don't know that he's a Boy Scout headmaster and that he coaches his kids basketball and that he shoots on the weekends with friends who are also men. And he probably has a wife and like no other female friends because that's not real either. Right.
And he has a bunch of men who he hangs out with all the time.
Yeah.
So that's the yin and yang.
Yeah.
You either have one and want to create hell on earth, which is how it works, or you're the other and actually manifest God, because that's what sacrifice is.
Yeah, I mean, regardless of whether or not they were like in like a boys' club.
Do you know what I'm saying, though?
Yeah, I do.
It is so we're talking about the yin and yang of existence.
I do know exactly what you mean.
And this is where it all plays out. And yes, like, sorry, world, Adam was created first, and this happens among men, and men is the story of creation. So sorry, but these are where the polar elements of humanity and existence interact.
Yeah.
You have...
Well, you also have... So it's funny you mentioned that. So this is going to go right into what you're saying. Do you know about the lady who saved her kid there?
Yes.
You know about this?
I do.
Yeah, she got, like, put in handcuffs.
Yes.
And then she...
broke out. And,
she got put in handcuffs.
Yes.
She convinced the Border Patrol people that she knew to convince the cops to take off the handcuffs.
Right.
So they took them off. She fucking bolted, dude. She went right in there.
Yep.
And, like she wasn't going to be stopped.
Because there's no other thing for women than children.
Yeah.
That's it.
Yeah, and as brave, and obviously it's incredibly courageous. As brave as it is for those dudes to go in and fucking waste this guy and save all the kids, she ran in with no gun.
No gun. Yeah.
She was like, "Fuck it,
fuck it.
I'm getting my kids.
Well,
I don't give a shit.
I mentioned earlier, and
I'll get shot. I don't give a fuck."
I mentioned
that's a level of balls.
So I mentioned
that you only see on women. Those are the level of well, maybe not these days.
Yeah, right. Yeah. So there are, and I didn't misspoke, but I was incomplete. I said the story of humanity and creation and existence is male, and I think that's true. How the other side of that is there is no earth, there is no foundation, there is no stage for which that drama will play out without women. And women, there's a reason it is called Mother Earth.
Kind of an important part.
It is
of what's going on.
Women birth existence into creation.
Well, that's the whole thing, right? That's why I need to get rid of. That's why I need to get rid of like what women are.
So these
right?
are two.
Like you need to get rid of it.
So before we go there, I just want to finish this thought. And this is how it works. This is how the human drama, human story unfolds, right? You have the male energy of finding. You have the male lion who fights the other male lions, right? And that's what men do. They fight other men because men. Why do you have guns? It's so you can kill another person who has a gun. You are fighting the evil incarnate, and the manifestation of chaos and evil in the world is masculine, actually, but either way, the manifestation of evil in the world is men, right? Who killed Jesus? Like the Roman lead, like men. Men did it. Men did all of these things. Men. But then you had women and you had the feminine and the omega energy and experience also playing out alongside it, which is completely and totally selfless and seeks to find, protect, rescue, nurture the children themselves. So the male lion fights and finds the other male lion, and maybe they'll die, and it'll be an honor to do it. That's what men are for. And women keep everything going. Goes and actually gets the kids. Yeah. Goes and finds the kids.
This is another
story.
When we're talking about like
It's all just archetypes. All this shit is just archetypes.
When we're breaking down lofty statements about like, oh, there's no community anymore, the parents aren't there, it is an important thing to note. Like that's what women in some places they still do, but for very that's what they did in communities.
What do you do when your kids grow up?
They ran the churches and the bingo halls and the food drives and the bake sales and the scholastic book fairs
and this is why
and the talent shows and the concerts at the bandstand twice a summer, right?
Yep.
Like they ran all these things. And in a lot of cases, if there was a guy who was going around saying he's going to shoot up his school and cutting the heads off of cats,
you know who would have found him?
The 10 different women in the sewing circle would know about it.
That's exactly right.
And you know, obviously this is kind of a apples to oranges comparison, but there's some truth to it.
I don't think so.
There's some truth to it.
Well, I alluded to it.
In a high trust society, you can rely on the other people in your community to point out and act on dangerous outliers.
Your red flag laws don't come at the other end.
Your red flag laws are 20 people at the town meeting asking the sheriff, why haven't you arrested the weird kid who cut off my cat's head?
And they're also effective. And they're effective.
Why haven't you taken him to the mental asylum that don't exist anymore?
Right. Well, this is that's another thing.
Yeah.
Well, this is interesting because why are we, as you know, whatever we are, why are we so disappropriately appalled at red flag laws? It's because more often than not, almost to the point of exclusivity, it will be used as a cudgel rather than a tool. Yeah. Right? It will be that's what will happen. It will be used to take away the rights of otherwise freedom law-abiding people for political reasons. That's the reason.
It can also just your ex jamming you up.
Well, so yes. But my point is, and that's what I say all the time as a Christian kind of 1776 conservative, whatever. I am for red flag laws, 100%. You know what my red flag laws are? It's that all the women in my life that I know in my community are stay-at-home moms or PTO moms or bandstand moms, and the red flag network that they have when the neighbor's kid cut his cat's head off
is more accurate and effective.
It actually works.
It works better than the ones we have now.
Better than that one.
Yeah,
it's actually fantastic.
Yeah,
you know, like that actually works. You're right that theoretical red flag laws would work. But yours isn't one.
Yours are trash.
And mine is.
Yours allows a guy to who broke up with his girlfriend for her to report him and say he hit me or he threatened me. And even if he gets found completely innocent, the cops are coming and taking your guns.
And that's the best case scenario.
That's the best case scenario.
The worst case scenario is I voted for Donald Trump, and now I'm on a red flag law.
Right.
And they said I'm a COVID denier, so now I don't have a gun, and I'm a danger to society, and the police can kick my door in and take me away.
Yeah. That's right. That's right.
That's.
But if that same scenario happened, right? The ex-wife or ex-girlfriend or whatever. Yeah. If that happened in like a high trust society with the sewing circles,
the same thing.
They'll say it to the sheriff, and the sheriff will be like, "Janice, have you taken your medication today?"
That's right. Yeah.
Like, are you just saying this because him and Tina broke up?
Yeah, right.
You know what I mean?
And she'd be like, and she'd be like,
"Well, I always told you he was no good. And I always told you that."
And then she'd be like, Yeah. You're right. And then he that same fucking sheriff would show up to Jimmy's house or find him at work.
Like, I heard you cut off Mrs. Johnson's cat's head.
What the fuck's up?
We're going to the doctor.
What's going on?
We're going to the doctor.
Yeah. And I didn't just come with me, the cop. I came with Dan the butcher and Jim the tax guy and Frank who has a pickup.
Yeah.
And we're all gonna show up.
Yep.
And the cops is not the cops. It's the shared community that says, Jim, you did hit your wife, and she's not just being a bitch. If she's being a bitch, we're going to call her out. If she's right and you're being an asshole, we're going to come get you too. So these are the methodologies with which you deal with social issues. We have exported not just to the federal, globally. What do kids think about every day? Do they think about going to work at, Jim's store down the road?
No, they think about being a TikToker.
And the world! Yeah. They want 15 million... These are things that are fucking bananas. These numbers don't make any sense. I want 15... The fucking Beatles didn't get 15 million people at their show. Yeah. Like, what the fuck are you talking about? Yeah. So, obviously, you're going to have a drugged up, spazzed out, terminally online person fall through the cracks when 85% of the population is preconditioned to have no concrete anchor within reality that exists. And it's, again, this is where the shit is deeper than drugs or people or men or whatever the fuck. It's because we've preconditioned everyone to believe that they live on this global earthly fucking scale.
It's main character syndrome.
Yes, main character syndrome. God, dude, and it's not even because there's always there has to be some whatever. But I know what you're saying. Yeah. But we've rewired and preconditioned folks again. Like
Harry Potter still went to Hogwarts. You fucks. I know that's like your sacred cow.
Yeah, right. Like, well, and geez, this is the perfect. Yeah. I mean, Harry Potter is the perfect ANCAP society if you want to talk about that.
It's just people doing magic.
Well, no, it's a completely isolated cultural institution that is designed as a bulwark against the rest of the oppressive majority of humanity. They are their own deeply tight-knit. They have their own
Is that what we're gonna do next? We're gonna do it. We're gonna talk about why Harry Potter was actually based.
I'm better at this.
It's actually not cringe. It's based.
I'm better at this.
And we're gonna take it back from the libs.
I'm so good at this.
We're taking it back from the libs.
I'm so good at this that I would convince everyone listening that that's true.
We need a bunch of right-wing bodybuilders to go to the next Harry Potter con and just mog the nerds.
Well, and whatever. The guy who does dick push-ups and says, fucking Zeus is God.
Like, yeah, I mean, I'm just saying we need some high tea guys to just like show up half naked with like a Gryffindor Speedo and just mog the blue hairs. I'm telling you.
So the point is, and I could do that because I'm so fucking good at talking. I said it in passing that birth control contributed to this shit because what did we do? We took moms who were designed, and this is what people forget, right? When I say people are, women are supposed to stay at home, not work, and raise kids, that's right. And then, what happens when they're 18? They raise everyone. They, the one you trust and who you share and go to church with and you share an ideology with and you share a culture with and you share common morals with, they do raise your kid. Mm-hmm. Mrs. Johnson down the road who, if you were in trouble in some way, you could maybe even have her come pick you up because you're afraid of your dad or whatever.
Yeah, I mean, that's where a lot of this...
They did raise everyone. So when we introduced birth control, not only did we send women to be wage slaves in this corporate fascist fucking plug-in Brave New World, that's pretty bad. Mm-hmm. But the other thing that we did is we disallowed the communal regulatory methodology for everybody else. Mm-hmm. And you know what happens when you don't have a communal regulatory methodology? You have angry, violent, young, skitzed out, spazzed out men shoot schools. Yeah. So birth control created this fucking thing.
Fuck you. I mean, it's
fuck you, pay me.
Yeah.
That is
not a bad theory.
That is what happened. So suck a dick.
Honestly, I think if you tried to
suck a dick,
and obviously it would be a fight against it. But I think if you did try to highly regulate birth control, it would be harder than doing it to like Adderall. I think most women. Would be like, yeah, it's pretty bad. Most women would be like, we still want it, but we get why you have some concerns about this. But if you tried to take away, parents' kids' spaz medicine,
absolutely,
they're gonna fight you tooth and nail.
I mean, dude, I can't have my wine at 6:30.
Yeah, don't get me wrong. Women will still want the birth control to be legal. But they will willing to be like, it is kind of fucking us up.
Yeah, right.
Let's see what we can do.
I'm so crazy, and this just made me a billion times crazier.
Yeah, right, right.
What? You made me hyper crazy juice.
Yeah, I mean, I think you hit a.
And you jammed it into my fucking pussy.
Yeah.
No, I don't like. Yeah. How about if I take a pill? No. Listen. You're afraid of a coat hanger abortion, but you fucking cum yourself when some fucking forceps can jab a fucking, you know that game?
No, they don't like that thing, man. I'm telling you. I know some of them do it, but they don't like it, dude.
Really? I'm not saying
they don't like it.
I'm saying the talking point.
Yeah. The microchips are here. They give the women the chips in the arm.
Dude.
They do the chips already. And again, it's not just like those Swedish companies and it's to open the door. But they already have hormone chips in people.
It's
already a thing.
It is.
It's already a thing.
They have hormone chips in people.
Yeah.
They have hormone.
They got them in there.
Chips
in people's arms. Fucking Olivia Rodrigo or one of these other canned sluts advertises for it. I don't know which one, but they do literal. I see them on Hulu because I watch Hulu and Hulu has like the worst commercials.
So I'm not a feminist, or so I'm a misogynist.
Yeah.
Because I don't want women anywhere near birth control that is a fucking microchip or going to a wage slave factory, and I want to protect women from that. So I'm a misogynist, and conversely, you, the feminist, libs women,
I think the issue is
jam fucking shit into people. I think send them into the fucking salt mines.
I think the issue they have is like.
Am I correct?
Yeah, I don't. I agree with your diagnosis
I'm
women.
saying it for a fact.
Yeah. I agree with your diagnosis about how it's led to the degradation of high trust local communities in terms of localism. But I think the issue why you get a lot of pushback is because women are like, well, if I want to go to work, I want to go to work.
I'm way crazier than you.
Yeah,
That's what you have to accept.
Believe me, trust me, Dan. I've talked with my girlfriend many times about how you're crazier than I. No, I'm just kidding.
Oh my god, she must not stand. She'll get there.
Nah, she's fine.
She'll turn 30. She'll turn 30.
She's a good sport.
She'll turn 30 and then get it. She's the best. Fuck.
She's a good sport. She's the best.
That motherfucker really gets it.
Yeah,
God
I don't know about
I
don't know about that, but she's a good sport.
God damn it!
But as we're saying,
does she listen to the show?
She used to.
Why would she?
Yeah, she used to. She got a few episodes in. She's like, I don't think I'm going to listen to it.
I don't think I like that guy.
I'm like, all right. No, she's like, I just don't think I'm going to listen to it.
You're going to hang out with
It's
him.
not even that. Honestly, it's not.
Beat you up? What the fuck?
Yeah. Sometimes she would get a little concerned about some things that you said or I said.
Right.
But it was mostly she's just like, what you talk about stresses me out.
Yeah.
That's really, which is true for a lot of women.
So she's actually normal.
Yeah, she's a normal person.
Yeah.
She's like a good normal person.
Because this is. Big crazy.
She's like even in the episodes where you didn't say anything that offended me.
Yeah.
It just really stressed me out.
This is not enjoyable.
She's like it made me very anxious.
This isn't any fun anymore.
No.
Like I don't want to. I'm not trying to fuck with this anymore. This guy's yelling about fucking robots, and this guy's yelling about existential dread.
Yeah. So certainly.
Let's watch Outlander.
Yeah, we can't really like flip a switch and get back a high trust society, right? And we could do
We certainly can't flip a switch.
No,
that's correct.
And we could do a whole episode on what a high trust society is and how America used to be one, and the steps that were deliberately taken
in order for that
to make it a low trust society, right?
Yeah. Well,
and we could do a whole nother episode about how living in a low trust society causes people to develop neuroses and coping mechanisms that don't allow them to appropriately gauge reality.
Yes.
Right?
Yep.
That we could do a whole other episode for that. The question is in lieu of the small steps in localism, in religious revival, I think you're seeing a lot amongst younger people right now.
Yeah.
Those are all good, slow, incremental steps into building something like that. It will obviously be under assault, but that's the whole thing. That's the whole thing with Christianity, right?
Is like, brother.
You're that's the whole thing. No, you're going to be persecuted.
Yes.
No, it's going to happen.
And it's going to happen.
It's not maybe, it's going to happen.
And it's also going to happen because you're right.
And it's going to happen over and over and over again.
Because you're doing the right things.
Yes. And it's not going to stop. So just fucking figure it out.
Absolutely.
Right? So it's obviously going to come under assault. Any of the incremental steps you take to try to regain some of that romantic Americana, some of that high trust society. It's probably never going to happen ever again. Doesn't mean you can't try. And I think the better question...
Or it may not happen at scale.
It won't happen.
It's probably not going to happen again at scale.
The country...
I think it will happen.
Yeah.
In the way it's supposed to.
Yes. America's like dormant right now.
Dude.
It was like shot with a tranquilizer dart.
Could you imagine
and now they're trying to
awesome we'd be?
And now they're trying to bleed the beast while it's asleep. And the question is are some knights going to show up and wake up the dragon?
Absolutely.
Right?
I mean,
like the evil wizard has put a sleep spell on the dragon that is America.
That's right.
And has convinced the knights to go fight a bunch of other knights somewhere else.
Yep.
And they're trying to just slowly bleed the dragon in the cave. So it doesn't roar and wake everybody up. Right?
Yeah.
But the knights will come.
Yep.
So while we're taking these incremental steps to building smaller localist societies, right? what are other more like immediate steps that we could take in terms of solutions? One is taking on big pharma.
Yeah, sure.
And that comes that's like a...
Do you want to use government to do that?
Yeah, I do.
Do you want to...
Yes.
What do you think about that?
Yes, I do.
You're such an anarchist.
I'm a statist.
You want to use big government to get rid of the existential evil that's butt-fucking your kids in front of you.
Yep, if that makes me a reactionary statist...
Do you want to use the government?
Yeah, I do. I absolutely do. I want to put my friends in charge of the government.
Hey!
And I want to wield it against my enemies.
Hey!
Absolutely.
But...
So you got to take on big pharma. I don't really know how you do that. I'm sure there are people who have put together detailed plans. I imagine you have to do something about the university, med school, scientific pipeline. You have to do something about how universities are structured entirely, right?
So Eric Weinstein.
Well, I think my ideal situation, obviously, roll the tanks onto the universities, seize their endowments, use their endowments for the public good, whatever the public good is determined to be by the new order that would have enough juice to roll tanks into Harvard, right? That would
give everyone a gun.
Yeah, that would be my ideal scenario. Now, if I'm trying to be, say, diplomatic about things, and by diplomatic I mean presenting a solution that is still palatable to people like us while not making people think we're all eccentric. You could you have to change student loans. So like it's kind of roundabout, but you have to.
Oh, it's like birth control. I love
exactly.
This
so you have to.
This is the right argument.
So I don't believe in debt forgiveness. Debt forgiveness is asking a waitress to pay for a sociology master's degree, right?
Absolutely.
Yes. I think you should just be able to discharge. You should just be able to discharge the loans in bankruptcy. Right. You need and you can offer some sort of partial assistance. I've heard somewhat convincing arguments for this. I still don't buy it because even if it's only $10K per student, that's still $10K of tax money that's coming from someone else.
I'll put it to you this way: I will ransom the inequities of the waitress paying for the sociology if it kills the university.
Yeah. So I don't think you need to do that. I think
you know what I'm saying?
Yeah, I do. I do. I think here's what you do. And this involves changing laws and, appealing things and doing a long legislative process that the government would never do. But let's just say we get Blake Masters and Joe Kent and all the people we like and J.D. Vance and everyone we like in. We get we get a dark MAGA wave that takes back
Eric Zimmer.
Right, exactly. We get what we want. We get people who are actually willing to do these long legislative process to change laws. You make loans dischargeable in bankruptcy. And what was this, part 2 of this? What was that? You remove the guaranteed nature of them.
Correct.
You remove the Fed backing.
Yes.
Because if the schools are not guaranteed Fed money for all their loans, they're going to be like, actually, we can only give you $5,000. They're not, or whatever. They're going to have to adjust.
And we can't charge you $100,000 a year. Because no one will be able to pay that.
Anyone who can use Google can look up like the increasing of tuition rates that closely follows like when the Fed started backing all the loans, right? And what you would do, a lot of these loans are going to get discharged, right? If you allow them to be discharged in bankruptcy, which is why the Feds won't do it, because they use it like a credit card, right? That's how they finance all their crazy, sketchy, black, dark art bullshit, right?
Yes.
But most people...
Vanguard and
most people... What's the stat? Like half of America lives at median income or lower, or something like that.
Right?
Yeah, right.
I mean,
exactly.
That's not even the stat. That's just
how it works.
How it works,
right? Less than 15% of the country makes more than $85,000 a year, right?
Yeah, right.
So if you make student loans dischargeable, I guarantee you, and I'm going to use a conservative number, half of people are going to discharge those loans.
Absolutely right.
Half of people are going to say, "Fuck it, I'm declaring bankruptcy. I don't care."
Sure.
I'm bankrupt.
Anything's
better than what I have right now.
Bankruptcy is better than this.
Yes. So half of those loans will get discharged, maybe even more. You remove the Fed backing.
Dude, bankruptcy would be the best thing to ever happen to you because then you can't get yourself into debt again.
Yes.
It's actually like
it's the student loan solution.
It's bowling. That's
why they wrote a law that said you can't do it.
Oh man.
That's why they did it.
Oh my God.
That's why Joe Biden did that.
This is so crazy.
He was involved in writing this law.
Good Lord.
So you do that. You make it so new students who apply, you don't get fed backing for financial aid.
We're way better than Michael Malice.
Yeah, I'm lukewarm on Malice now. He was I learned a lot. Than Tim Pool. Yeah, I agree.
I like Tim too, but
I like them both,
and I like Malice also.
I like
my
both.
point is,
I like us more.
No one is as good as this. I can't think of a single person.
No, I'm bored a lot.
I can't think of anybody
with commentary.
Is there any good things out there? This is why I can't be. I'm not turning
like
online
Dave
because
Smith.
I'm healthy.
I think he's still good.
I like Dave Smith.
Yeah.
I like all these people also.
Yeah.
I'm just being whatever.
I'm
having a good time.
Even if
But carry on.
Without the Fed backing, if you go to a school that's $50,000 a year, and you can't get $35,000 or $40,000 because the school now has to assume the liability,
and because that's crazy,
and that's how it used to work.
Absolutely,
that's how it used to work. Is school would cost $5,000 a year, and they could give you a loan for like $1,000,
or they would say, and they were never healthy, and I understand. I understand.
Yeah.
But conceptually,
if
they were to become healthy, they would say, oh, but this is the 1 in 35, 1 in 70, way more. 1 in 1,000 kid that is actually worth taking a risk on. Who will produce a far disproportionately higher amount of income, who will then help me pay for other things. That person can go to college. But everybody else can't because they're not worth taking the risk on.
So I said the schools. What I meant to say was the banks won't assume the risk. Like if you because the school's not giving you a loan. Like you have to pay the school.
Absolutely, the school is not giving.
So I misspoke there. But if you went to the bank and said I need $40,000 to go to school, and that loan is no longer guaranteed by the federal government, they're gonna say no.
The bank's gonna say fuck off.
If you went to a bank,
gonna say no. They're gonna say get the hell out of here.
Yeah, and you see this boomer meme, which is a real meme all the time. That try asking a bank for a loan for $100,000 at 18, they'll say no, but they'll give you a college loan. Because the college loan is backed by the federal government. Absolutely. They literally can't lose money. They cannot lose money. It's impossible.
They're actually just making an income.
Yeah, they're just making money.
They're actually selling.
If you can't get your $35,000, $40,000,
Jesus, that's the best lead ever.
If you
holy fuck.
If you can't get your $40,000 or $50,000,
God, dude, that's so crazy.
To pay for your school, right? What you're going to see is a dramatic drop in the amount of people that are going to these universities. Even though universities serve sort of the middle and upper class anyway, you're still going to see a dramatic drop because people can't afford this. And if they can't get Fed back loans, they're not going to be able to get the money. So what you're going to see is the schools are going to go into a crisis where they're going to have to start firing people.
Absolutely.
They're not going to be able to pay for their stadiums. They're not going to be able to pay for their diversity commissars. They're not going to be able to pay for all their pet projects and all the people they want to hire to pad all their departments. All the
buildings and the legacy,
the useless administration positions, the woman who magnetizes your card in the registrar's office, all these other people, all
the grants for studying,
it's all gone. It's all going to go. They're going to lose so many students. They're not going to have as much money. They're not going to be able to pay for all these things, and they're going to have to make drastic cutbacks. And this is the only way to do this naturally, through market incentives organically. And they're always gonna be able to stop the bleeding with their massive endowments. They're always gonna be able to stop the bleeding with donors. Michael Bloomberg could give them $100 million.
And theoretically, but that's okay.
That's fine. But over time, they're gonna have. It's not about. I mean, it is about this.
Well, you can only do that to run a school. You can't do that to engineer factories of postmodernism.
No, you can't. You're not going to have the sinecures or the diversity hire positions that you need to keep your regime going. You're going to have to trim the fat. That's going to cause internal problems. And less kids are going to be going to these schools. So less kids are going to be getting brainwashed. The ones who are going there are going to be people with means, which is kind of how college was for all of human history, that it existed
forever
until 50 years ago. Right?
Even 35 years ago.
And you're going to have to, as a society, find other career paths for the people who would have gone with Fed loans who now can't get them and can't go to college. And you're going to have to provide them with vocational and occupational opportunities,
or even just
to where they can have a career.
Entrepreneur's
fine. I think entrepreneurship is great, but you're going to have a natural push from the few 10, 20, 50 million Americans who can't go to college now saying, well, what do I do now?
Here's what it's also going to do.
What do I do now?
Here's what it's also going to do. Those non-university intelligentsia participants will no longer exclusively and explicitly be thinking on a global or federal. Because you go to Harvard,
you need to run your books.
You need to go and you need to stay in Texas.
Yeah.
And get a job in Texas because you need to know the person that's hiring you.
Yeah.
But if you are from Texas and you go to Simmons, you are now exclusively talking to gigantic global corporations. You are by definition not you have that are and you are being hired by a nameless, faceless HR department associated as a vestigial organ to a gigantic global corporation. Because and the reason that you have to when you don't have that globo homo avenue. The reason you stay in Texas is because you need your uncle's friend to give you your first job.
Yeah.
That's not nepotism. That's how it works.
Yeah, it is.
So that and when people do that, when people have close ties to I'm making an argument about you're talking about the more efficient or shorter, more practical, quote unquote, none of this will happen. But the shorter, more practical solution, and I'm tying it back to the deeper existential solution.
Yeah.
Because we talk about how do we get to localism? Well, these are methodologies. Getting rid of pumping yourself.
So what this does is it cuts the supply of loans and free money for college. It cuts over time through collateral damage at these universities.
Yeah.
It's going to reduce the demand for the universities.
Absolutely.
Right?
Completely.
You do that.
We're already even seeing this organically.
You do that, and these universities currently they operate as sort of like autonomous communist factories. Right?
Yep.
Damage the factory.
That's right.
Break the conveyor belt. Cut their budget so they have to fire a bunch of their supervisors. What can you do to stop the amount of money and lives, young people who are going into this institution? And how can you do it in a way that isn't showing up with guns and seizing their endowment?
Right.
Which I want to state once more. That's my preferred methodology.
Not the worst idea.
These people need to pay for what they've done.
Absolutely.
I think they should be arrested and they should be tried and they should have to face consequences for all the things that they do. That's my preferred methodology. Yeah. Now, operating back in reality, where I need to convince grill dads to solve the student loan crisis, and I have to get through like 6 levels of programming of people's cliche responses to student loans. Right? I think this works better.
Absolutely.
I think this works better when you can make an argument for fixing student loans that doesn't involve regular people paying for it and doing something about the universities being insane that doesn't generate a lot of backlash.
Well, and it's a very good, again, just to tie it back to our deeper original
This is all going back to the med school science pipeline.
And
right?
even deeper
this is all over. If you do this and you impede the universities and their thing they're doing, you can do that just by actually enforcing civil rights law. Instead of just enforcing it one way. And once again, sure, it would be great if we could look at this law and repeal it and put in something better that isn't like disparate impact. Because disparate impact is terrible in terms of its legal ramifications. Whether or not you like the Civil Rights Act, if you look at disparate impact in a vacuum, it's bad. Right?
Absolutely.
Sure. But if you actually just enforce civil rights law, a lot of these people are going to get arrested.
They're
gonna you want to have a day for just black people on campus? You're all getting fined. And if you don't change, we're gonna send the National Guard. Down. That's in the current state of America. That's never ever in a million years gonna happen.
Never in a million.
But if we're talking about legal mechanisms, already in place or passable functions, I think that would be one of them. And that's something that you could. Once again, you're not going to have a ton of backlash. It's no, they're being racist.
Right.
Isn't this what you care about? You care about people being racist?
Well, I mean, there was that, and
so you disrupt.
That was that meme during the COVID time. It was colored playground old man.
You disrupt their pipeline. You have to hold the pharmaceutical industries and the healthcare conglomerations, which are highly involved in funding and organizing,
and the journalists that protect them.
And the journalists that protect them. You need to find ways to find chinks in their armor. I don't know how. I don't presume to. but you need to do something about the people who pushed all this COVID shit.
Yep.
Like the New England Journal of Medicine and the Lancet were publishing fake news.
Yeah.
They were publishing fake stories
for years.
Now, I don't know how
that led to death and destruction.
I don't know how you go to two of the longest standing, highest, most regarded medical journals and somehow make them stop being crazy.
Yeah.
But you need to find a way to do that.
But you need to figure out a goddamn way to make them stop being crazy.
If you can get to the universities and the med schools that feed them,
right,
and reduce the amount of students going through this filter and reduce the efficiency of the universities by cutting their funding.
Yeah.
And it wouldn't be like they lose 20, they'll lose over half of their funding. If they don't get fed back loans, they will lose over half of their money.
And what you will do is you will get them out of the business of doing that.
Yes. The people will start to say, well, no, all the people who can't go to college, they're going to have to get real jobs, and then they're going to work their real jobs, and then they're going to raise their kids.
Yeah. And then they're also going to be like, wow, I'm way happier.
Right.
I don't want to shoot up a school.
And the ones, and the ones who do raise their kids to be like normal people, they're going to be like, hey,
wait a minute.
You're not going to this college.
Fuck no.
If they're doing the stuff that they did to my parents.
Yes.
Right?
Yeah.
They did all this terrible shit to my parents, and then I tried to go, and I couldn't get money. And now 20 years later,
was way better.
And now 20 years later, I realized they were totally full of shit. And all the stories my dad told me make sense now. All the stories my dad told me that my mom would hush him at the dinner table about crazy college people. That actually all makes a lot of sense. And I want to make sure that that's not what you're going there for. And they probably won't even have to do that. The kids will grow up. And they'll have seen their parents, and once again, these are normal people in stable families.
They'll be like, my dad's an electrician.
And he makes a lot of money.
And he has a fucking boat.
Yeah, and he couldn't go to college.
Right.
Not because he didn't have money.
And
then they'll say, well, why did he need money if he's a smart guy who knows enough to become an electrician and do all these things? So why did he need to go in the first place?
Well, and here's the thing. And this is manifesting itself.
Demand.
This is manifesting itself now, and then even deeper in the future among this in this scenario. Your blue collar, quote unquote, whatever. That's a dumb label, but you know what I mean. Your dad with a real functional non-university producing job has a boat. And has a second house. And it's funny because I'm starting to see this now, and even there's a teeny tiny piece of this. I think in a lot of places, obviously, but it's like, who's the richest person most people know, right? No. Actually, no. Shows up to the same
in person
events as you. It's probably a general contractor.
Probably.
It's probably...
If you're like a regular person, or a business owner.
And that, you know what I mean?
Yeah, or someone who owns laundromats.
And 20 years ago, the richest person you knew was like a stockbroker
a finance
or
guy.
A finance guy.
Yeah.
So there's... this stuff is happening. You know what I mean? This stuff is happening. And kids are... And there's a little bit of this now.
And 30 years before that, it was a factory owner.
Exactly.
Or an import-export guy.
Right.
So you weaken the apparatus. How do we have a medical system where the Lancet and the New England Journal of Medicine publish fake news that gets people killed? Because we have a pipeline that creates people that have a credentialist.
You create professionals at doing that.
You create a credentialist, universalist people who are running your greatest institutions. You need to weaken that apparatus. You need to weaken that pipeline. You need to put as many cracks and as many leaks as you can into that pipeline. If you do that, well, then maybe you can find dissidents or other people to join your coalition to then do actionable steps against the pharma industry, the healthcare industry, all these other industries that have just decided they're insane. They're fucking nuts, and we're gonna give your kids SSRIs and Adderall, and there's nothing you can fucking do about it. Because the people who run your society are sick.
And we're gonna we're gonna write about it and defend it and
we're gonna have some exactly. So that's a long way to say. That's step one. Is create cracks in the pipeline of this scientific hegemony.
Hegemony.
Hegemony. What's it? Outsourcing all of your policy decisions to the experts and the science people and data allows them to remove a level of accountability for it. It allows them to remove the idea of debate. It allows them to completely remove any human aspect from it. That's why it's so important. because they can do the most evil, unconscionable shit and just say, well, that's what the data says. It's not me. I'm not doing this.
No.
It's like a cop saying, like, I'm just following orders.
Just following orders, man.
It's the data.
It's literally
and
just
it doesn't matter,
orders.
like, how many, like, good questions you ask to, like, point out their inconsistencies. It's just the data, right? So you need to figure out why these people are being allowed to just push bunk data, and you do something about it.
Yep.
So that's step one. I don't know how another part of this is the kid's dad was deadbeat, didn't see him because of COVID. Like we said, his mom was a junkie. And
they're proud of you for doing heroin on the subway in New York City.
So, I mean...
Have you seen that?
Yeah, I have. So, that's another one. I mean, if we clearly don't want to address, like, drugs and the way drugs, homelessness, and mental illness all intersect, right? Like, we don't want to put crazy heroin people having, like, gay sex in sleeping bags in jail. Like, we don't want to put them in jail or we don't have mental institutions anymore.
They're the only people who should be in jail.
So, yeah. So
that is a great option for
his mom. I don't know if his mom has an arrest record, but multiple sources said she has like a drug problem. If she has a long-standing drug problem and she has kids, they should fucking do something about it.
Right.
And maybe they did. Maybe that's why he was at the grandma's house.
Again, here's your tight-knit community.
Yeah. I don't, like I said, I don't know if he lived with the grandma, but he was with the grandma. She saw his messages.
Right.
They got about shooting people. They got in a fight.
Is that what it was?
Yeah. So to bring it all back, because I think that part one put chinks in the armor of the medical biosecurity state, right? I'll say what I want. Step two is like the family issue.
Keep it fun, folks.
Right? He shot his grandma. She actually survived. She called the cops, and she said, "My grandson just shot me. He said he's going to go shoot people."
Based.
Yeah. Damn. So she survived and called the police.
Fucking quinceanera.
The kid drove, and there's been so many conflicting reports and updates. The kid drives to the school, didn't have a driver's license,
right? Didn't
know how to drive,
yep.
Drove an F-250 to the school, at some point crashed it, right?
Gangster.
He crashed it somehow, and then he walked to the rest of the school in body armor with his weapons, right? And his ammo. Just like walking down the street, like fully kitted out, just going to kill some kids, you know? Walk to the
fuck, dude?
Yeah, dude.
What the fuck?
Walk to the school. Now, the initial story, the day this happened, the cop said, "Oh yeah, the grandma called us, so we sent some officers to the school, and they were there when he showed up. They exchanged gunfire, and then they retreated, and he snuck into the school. He like got a door open and snuck into the school. Then that story.
Wait, so they made that up?
I don't know. This was the official statement from the police right after it happened.
They said that?
Yeah.
They said that they got into a scuffle with
the shooter
there?
Yes. They said that they sustained...
But that's not true.
No, so there's a current story that's different. So apparently it's not true.
Okay.
So first they said there were cops there when he showed up, right? Yeah. Then they said... first they said there were cops there when he showed up and they exchanged gunfire, right? And then he shot at the cops and they were like, "Oh no, we're getting shot." And they like hid, right? Because he was shooting at them. Okay. And then he left. So like they got in a gunfight, and like the kid used his superior firepower to to suppress them and pin them down, and then he retreated to go into the school and start killing kids. Yeah, right? That was exactly. Yeah. So that was the first story. Then they came out and said, "Well, actually, the cops were there, but they didn't shoot at him, and he didn't shoot at them, and he just snuck in."
Better.
And that was the second story, and then the third story was actually there were no cops there.
Right. Yeah. Right.
Like the current story, so I haven't checked since earlier today. Yeah. But because it could have changed again. All these three stories happened in 2 days.
I bet it changed.
I bet it has changed again since I looked this morning.
Yeah.
Since I looked taking a shit this morning. And so the current story is actually the cops were never there. Yeah. And he actually got there, and like a teacher had like propped open a door because it was hot, and he found that door and got in, and then he locked the door behind him and started killing people. And then 150 police showed up. So you had all the officers from the Uvalde department. Yeah. And then they called in like 140. They called in 140 other cops. The police chief, who hasn't been seen since the day of the shooting, did not do any of the press conferences, had other people do the press conferences. Right. It's now come out that he gave the order to stand down.
Yeah, I think.
Right?
Yeah, right.
And it was the Border Patrol guy.
Was that the whole, like, maybe we'll be shot thing?
Yeah.
Yeah. Right.
So they had 150 cops, and they were given an order to stand down. And from what I understand, all the cops they called in were following the lead of the locals, right? And then the Border Patrol guy is getting a haircut in, like, fucking supercuts, and his wife calls him and says, the school's getting shot up.
Oh, he was a Border Patrol guy?
He's a Border Patrol guy, the guy who went in.
That's even better.
So he was a Border Patrol guy. He's getting
his haircut.
You know
who the only good cops are? The ones who defend the border.
Right? So, check this. It gets even better. He gets up, and he tells his barber what's going on. He's like, I gotta go. The barber gives him his shotgun.
Oh, that's so great.
And he says, I got a shotgun. Take it.
It's a MAGA shotgun?
Right? Red. Yeah, right? Golden Trump shotgun.
He actually exchanged fire, and his MAGA hat stopped the bullet.
Well, it's funny you mentioned that.
Oh, that's great.
It's funny you mentioned that. So the Border Patrol guy rushes to the scene. He links up with a couple other BORTAC guys, which is, I guess, is their tactical team, right? Like the Border Patrol's tactical team. It's like their SWAT or something, right?
Kill the fuck out of those fucking Salvadorians.
And they link up. They get him a rifle. Because they're like, oh, you got a shotgun? He's like, yeah, I'm ready to go. Like, take this rifle. We got another rifle. So they get him a rifle.
They threw it like this.
Yeah, exactly. They get him a rifle.
Yeah.
And initially they get stopped by the police. The same cops who stopped the parents. Who, like, tased and detained several parents. Also initially stopped the Border Patrol people and, like, ordered them to stand down. They stood down for a little while. And then they said, fuck it, we're going in. The BORTAC guys. And I don't know how that exchange went, but I imagine it went, shoot me. Like, I'm going in.
Either you're shooting me or I'm shooting you.
Yeah.
So you make the decision.
They said, fuck you, we're going in.
Yeah, fucking Chad Border Patrol versus
they went in,
virgin local cop.
They went in, allegedly, the locked door, the cops, like, stood outside it for, like, 45 minutes. While they listened to the dude shoot kids.
Oh, my God, dude.
And then the
Border Patrol showed up Skechers and kicked it in? Yeah. Fucking New Balance the fuck out of those things.
Yeah.
Oh my God.
Put the dad shoes right through the wood.
Yeah, dude. Those were the whitest New Balances you've ever seen.
I don't know.
Their socks never went anywhere near their calves. Nowhere near the ankle. Nowhere near the knee. Right at the calf.
And he had, like, a plaid short sleeve shirt. Like, he'd get it like Kohl's. It was perfect.
That's so sick.
So here's the thing.
So
they bust in. They get in a shootout. He kills the shooter. He got shot through his hat.
And his MAGA
like you said, his MAGA hat.
His MAGA hat.
It was like a mesh hat. Like a perfect dad mesh hat.
Like a John Deere hat.
Yeah, basically. Like not a trucker hat, but the same mesh style.
Sure.
You know what I mean? The bullet went through his hat, grazed the top of his head. So he got like a couple staples on his head. It grazed him, and he got the guy. So that's how it went down.
Fucking based.
So yeah, absolutely.
Based Border Patrol man.
So
holy shit.
So yeah, I don't know. Like we said, the shooter's dad was a deadbeat. He wasn't around.
Yeah,
his mom was a junkie.
Right.
His grandma tried to stop him.
Sure.
Right. Good for grandma.
What generation was she from?
I don't know how old. I think the dad was 42.
Well, you know what I'm saying?
Oh, yeah. Sorry.
Like, wait.
My autism thought that was a serious question.
What time in the earth was she from?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. So she tried. Good for her.
Oh, cool. It wasn't her. It wasn't his Gen Z sister who stepped in to save the day.
No.
It was his racist grandmother.
Yeah.
Who also
she's Mexican and is more racist than most white people.
And who thinks abortion is murder. Mm-hmm. That one is the good one.
That was apparently the good one. That was the good guy.
Strange.
Yeah.
Huh.
Odd.
Huh.
Very weird. So
you don't say.
Yeah. So that's what happened, and it's since come out.
I haven't heard. This is why I mean. Fucking all these other shows. No one else is going to go through a blow-by-blow like that on a show.
Yeah.
At all.
Yeah, that's what happened.
No one's going to listen about what happened.
No.
That's what, they're going to just go, and this is not just some, fucking long-form, whatever, network cable news is bad thing. It's they're not going to talk about the things that happened.
They're going to...
Even Spurgy and Caps on the right are only going to talk about, 2A, and I'm with it 100%. Totally. But I want to talk about, this hyper-specific situation that isn't just, some other event.
So there's more. Right? So that's the shooting. Yeah, now we're going after the shooting and everyone's asking questions, right?
So let's go. Here's the thing. All right, so pause.
Yeah.
I want to hear you explain the blow-by-blow of the parents being denied entry.
Okay. So
I want to hear that because I just hear
So there was a video that came out I think either yesterday or late the day before.
So this is like Thursday, the
day. So this is the day after the shooting.
Okay.
So the day after the shooting. A video came out of the local police, tasing and detaining a guy who tried to go in.
That's what I remember too. There's like a guy on the ground.
Video that came
like
out.
A parking lot.
So there were reports of it, and it was unconfirmed, and then this video came out.
Right.
And it was totally confirmed. Yeah. And then the story came out about the lady who got out of her cuffs and went inside and saved her kids.
And that's not on video anywhere.
No.
That we know.
No. Also, allegedly, the local police, when the door was locked and they couldn't get in, were going through the school evacuating their kids.
Right.
Yeah.
And that's... yeah.
While other cops were outside detaining parents who wanted to go in and save their kids.
Right. And that is what happened.
So, there isn't really much of a blow-by-blow of it. It's just that's what happens.
Yeah.
A bunch of the parents got rowdy, as you would expect, and said, what are you doing?
So did any parents get in?
Just the mom who shook her cuffs and
just that one who shook her cuffs.
I believe there were two guys. The video only shows one guy, but I believe two guys got tased.
Right,
because because they got in a fight with the cops. They said we're going in, and the cops tried to physically stop them, and they fought back, and then the cops tased them and cuffed them while they were tased, or aftermath of tasing.
I mean, can't they just shoot a dog?
Yeah, right.
Why don't you just shoot a dog?
Yeah, I don't know. And
how about you guys just go over here and shoot a bunch of dogs while the parents go in?
Yep.
Obviously do the fucking gay, yes, it's probably not a good idea to have 50 parents running in at the same time, whatever. Shut the fuck up.
Also, go do your job.
Yeah.
Go in the school.
Yes.
I don't think the parents would be trying to get in and save their kids if you were going in and trying to save the kids.
This is the exact correct answer.
So
the correct answer is they would have accepted.
The parents would have sat there and Blue Lives Matter cheered you on if you were going in there to save their kids.
Oh, dude!
If the 12 members of the Uvalde force went in to save the kids and 2 of them got killed, they would be heroes. They would build a statue of them in the middle of the town, and all the parents who now want to sue them and lynch them would actually love you. They would take care of your families.
They would raise
They would send them to college. They would get them jobs.
Holy
and
fuck.
Obviously, you never want kids to lose their parents. But in that situation, I think that's the best possible situation, right? Your parent dies saving the lives of children.
It's actually the best possible situation.
Right.
And it's also kind of, sort of, a little bit 5%. Of what you sign up for.
Yeah.
And I don't mean like the actual practical, tactical, that's what you sign up for to do it. You kind of want that military funeral, don't you?
That's like the deal.
I mean, if you're a SWAT cop,
even if you don't want it, you know that's the deal. You're supposed to know that's the deal.
You're telling me no percent of SWAT cop signs up to go die?
I know a lot of cops, and these motherfuckers are crazy. There's definitely some of them that do.
That's what I'm saying.
And I mean self-loathing crazy.
Yeah.
So not like crooked cop, they're great cops, but they hate themselves.
And what
they would not love, but they would totally be okay getting shot on the job.
Should I live another 15 years of being an alcoholic cop, or go save a bunch of kids and die a hero?
I don't know, man.
Which one should I do?
I don't know.
But these were all fat jobs program cops, apparently.
Yeah, the taco troopers.
These are all just.
That's what it is, and I mean, I think
all of these cops made somebody wear a mask in a Walmart.
Yeah. So,
I'm sorry, not in a Walmart. There's in a fucking Gina's store down the road.
Yeah, like you said, there's people. These things happen, and people knee jerk to their whatever's politically expedient, right? And obviously, everybody hates the cops,
me. So
right,
sure.
Yeah, sure,
yeah.
Everybody hates the cops, so and obviously, an angle everyone's going to be very enthusiastic about is this complete dereliction of duty.
Yeah.
Which, even cop hatred aside, they should be. Absolutely. People should be really fucking mad.
100%.
People should be really... I'm mad. I live in Massachusetts and I'm mad.
It's crazy.
You should be upset about this. Everyone should be upset about this.
Yeah. Oh my god, dude. It's so fucked up. That is the craziest shit ever.
It's insane.
And you juxtapose it against fucking New Balance, Dad.
Yeah.
Murking out.
There's a couple layups.
Dude, how do you think he just fucking punched him in the head?
I think according to the story, he did. He shot him in the face.
Like 3 or 4 times?
I just know, I'm pretty sure he shot him in the face.
How do you think he did it? Did he round a corner? Or they were both in the cafeteria?
So the guy...
He kicked the door in and just fucking...
Probably.
Bang.
I don't know. There's not a lot of info, because they talk about how the shooter had locked the door.
Dude, that's what I want to see. I want to see this dude in his MAGA hat fucking shoot this trans kid in the face.
Yeah. I actually got an argument. I got in an argument with someone one time that they should release video of this kind of stuff. because the person, this was like 5 or 6 years ago, and they were ranting to me about Alex Jones and Sandy Hook.
Yeah.
And I was like, why don't they just release the video?
Right.
And like, you want to see kids get killed? I'm like, well, no. But that would be a pretty good way to shut up Alex Jones if you think he's lying about dead kids.
Yeah. Right.
Like,
yes.
Right? Like, that would be a pretty good... Like,
that would be a
like
pretty
no,
good way.
I don't want to watch it, and I don't think people should watch it. But should we have access to it? So, like in a court of law or some otherwise institution,
the only thing,
you know what I mean?
Well, the only thing which is real about that, which I think is real, obviously, is the martyr thing.
Yeah,
like,
sure.
You know, like you're not going to show this because some other dude. If I'm
they're all martyrs, and even if
I'm a crazy nutso, I'm totally going to watch fucking
regardless
Dylan Roof get his head.
Yeah, well, that's already happening.
Be like, fucking...
That's already happening.
Yeah, sure.
That's already happening. These kids already know.
You're right.
This is how people will finally pay attention to me. This is how people will finally take me seriously.
Yeah.
This is how they'll finally know that I'm not going to take it anymore.
I'm so fucking gouged up on SSRIs that I think the only way anyone will notice me is if I shoot children in the head.
If you can socially contagion girls into cutting off their breasts and sterilizing themselves.
Oh boy.
I think you can social contagion people into being postal mass shooters.
That sounds easier.
Yeah, it does.
It sounds like not that hard.
Yeah, no, it does. That's, and like we said earlier, he hung out in the same Discord server as the Buffalo shooter, right? The Buffalo shooter was committed for 48 hours and they let him back out. He was committed
I knew that.
He was committed for 48 hours, but it was a voluntary committing.
Yeah.
Which means on a background check he won't fail.
Right.
Because it's voluntary. Right? But he was going around saying he was going to kill people.
Yeah.
The Texas shooter...
Was he just trying to secure a future for his white children?
He was apparently like a leftist eco-fascist.
Yeah, is that what it was?
Yeah, he was a leftist...
What are those things, the 8 words? That
yeah, so he was a leftist eco-fascist that believed in all the Green New Deal climate stuff, but he was also incredibly racist.
Yeah.
Like, in his manifesto, he calls out Fox News and Tucker for being, like, cucks, basically. And wrong about stuff, because he's a lefty and they're a righty, right? But that didn't matter because when it happened, he was a right-wing shooter, right? According to the media, he was a right-winger. He's a white person who killed people, so he's a right-winger, right?
Yes, even though he's a white person.
Even though he wrote a manifesto that said,
lefty shit.
I'm a lefty.
Yeah.
And then he listed dozens of pages about the firearm parts and body armor that the ATF and FBI want to ban. Just happened to list them all out.
Right.
Didn't really, had like a few pages of manifesto, and then like several dozen pages of... Here is all the things I got. Here is how I got them. I used this loophole. I did this. It's like, oh wow, you mean all the talking points that the feds have been using for years?
You mean Joe Scarborough is furiously pleasuring himself?
Yeah, after murdering another intern.
Yeah.
After bludgeoning another intern to death.
Oh my god.
Yeah. Yeah, he can only come when he kills people. He can only come when he sees the fucking brain matter on the desk. Allegedly.
That's even so much like darker and funnier than like fucking Harvey Weinstein. Like,
dude.
Fucking Joe Scarborough with his
he just murdered him
with his Harry Potter glasses.
He just murdered him.
What did he do? What was the thing? What was it like? Smashing her in the head?
Yeah. So I think the official story is that she like fainted and hit her head or something, and died.
So he just fucking.
She was like 40 years old.
He was just Clue with
a
fucking candlestick in the dark.
Oh, what happened?
Oh no! Heavens to Betsy!
I didn't cheat on you, honey. I slipped and fell and my penis went in her vagina.
My 40-year-old hot buxom intern.
Yeah.
We totally didn't go to Red Lobster a couple times.
Yeah.
Happened, and my wife started looking at my phone. Yeah. She happened to fucking have a candlestick snuff her out at 7:30 on a Thursday.
Yep. Yeah, so exactly, dude. So they hung out in the same Discord server. They also apparently talked to this. I know the Texas shooter communicated extensively with a retired federal agent.
Huh.
Then
stop me if you've heard this before.
Yeah, right. He communicated with a retired federal agent.
You're saying this kid was not glowing in the sense of he was newly born again as a woman. He's glowing in the sense that he's that kind of glow, not like Netflix glow or like Disney glow. He's Like Stephen Paddock look.
Yeah. God King Terry warned us about his types.
We're better than this than Sam. I'm better at this than Sam Tripoli. Yeah. I'm better at this than...
Well, Tripoli's a conspiracy guy. He does purely the conspiracies.
I like him a lot.
I like Sam a lot. Fantastic. No, I'm a big Sam fan. Fantastic. I love Sam Tripoli.
I'm saying what we're doing is fabulous content.
Love the content.
This is crazier and funnier. And also
more accurate
than everything.
Yeah. Yes, it is. Yes, it is. Tell your friends.
Fuck the real estate thing.
Yeah.
You need to make this our full-time job.
I know.
This is what you need to do.
So I am
laying this on a silver fucking platter.
What I meant to do.
This thing that we're doing, this is designed for people to hear it and us to make money from them.
Yeah,
I make a lot of money now. I should make more.
Yeah, more money's good. I could use more money. I want to get married.
If fucking Tim Pool can make like, what does he make a year? Like
millions.
I was just gonna say like millions. Like after everything expenses, I know you're gonna pay.
I would guess like 1 to 2 million.
Like $1
conservatively.
million a year?
I would say one. I have no evidence to back this up, but I'm guessing 1 to 2 million.
And I'm saying this. I'm not saying this as like shitting on him only.
No, this is good for you. Like, get the bag, bro.
Like, dude, he's a fucking
get the bag.
Gangster. He really is. Whatever. But this is what I mean. Like after everything, the YouTube, whatever, blah blah subscriptions. It's probably like he's probably making like 15 million in revenue, something like that.
Yeah.
Revenue, but that doesn't mean we get paid,
right?
But like, so like he's probably doing like, dude,
he's
know
probably
how much
doing
money,
just fine,
dude. And take away deductions and all the things you do when you make this amount of money. But let's say you're a fucking no millionaire would do this, or no one who would be in this position would do this. But if you were standard deducting $1 million a year in like W-2 income, like as an employee, it's $58,000 a month. That's like what it is.
Yeah.
That's like how it comes out. So like when you're saying you're like pulling down $1 million in income, like that's a fucking, and this is where even all this other fucking crazy buku athletes fake Federal Reserve funny money comes from, is because like you just think about like that is so much goddamn money. And like that's what this dude makes doing this thing that I'm better at than he is. I have to say this. I am not better at news. I'm not better at organization, at hiring people, at buying insurance, at creating a compound.
Journalism.
And he's like, he earns that way better. He is way better 1,000,000 times, 100 times out of 100 better than that. But like deeply spiritual, brutally, like disgustingly, like people say Legions of Skanks is like fucked up, like dark humor. There is nothing darker than this show.
No, absolutely
nothing.
Nope.
They will not say the things that no human being on the planet will say this, who can also make the arguments that you and I can make.
Yeah, I would agree with that.
I think that's true.
I think we're great too.
I think that's true. But here's the thing. I think that's true. Isn't that fucked up? Like in my heart of hearts, I think there are people as dark and weird and fucked up and as funny as me, but no one is that and
brings it all to the table.
As smart as me.
Full package.
I can talk to fucking
you would be one of the scholarship students at Dark Maga
Dude,
University.
Dude, 1,000,000,000%, yes.
We'd be fellows. We'd be fellows at Dark Maga University.
You're like
you
gotta catch up to like my weird shit with your like you said, like your directness.
Yeah.
But dude, the shit that it's like you're better at it too.
Yeah.
That's the thing. It's crazy because I'm better at it. And I found the only other person on the fucking planet who could do this show with me appropriately.
Hell yeah, brother.
Isn't that nuts?
Yeah.
Well, it's not. It's just God.
Man.
That's what God is. But like,
it's meant
right?
to be.
Like, dude, it's crazy.
Yeah.
How does that even happen?
Yeah. I don't know.
It's fucking bananas.
It's fortune. Fortune has smiled upon us.
Dude, it's fucking bananas.
Yeah.
So make this our fucking show.
I know, we really should.
Like, oh man!
But just to round off, crazy guy. No, that's fine. I love it. I love the confidence. I love the juice. It's important. Nobody's confident anymore. Everyone has their tail tucked between their legs. Yeah,
dude.
Yeah.
Yes.
And we're very affectionate for all the people we shit on. So
man.
I would, if I found out that they called us out and shitted on us, I'd be
so happy.
I'd be so.
Oh my god, it would be the greatest.
I'll take a crumb of clout, please.
It would be so awesome.
Give me just a crumb, sir.
It would just be so awesome.
I would love it. So please, if the off chance you ever hear it, shit on me too. I invite you to do it.
It would be awesome.
It would be great.
Clip this and send this shit.
Yeah.
You do all that shit.
Yeah.
You do it.
Yeah, I should.
You do it, not me.
Yeah, no, you.
I'm doing my part.
You have a family.
You do it.
You're right. You're right.
You do it.
You're right. You're right. To take on the mantle.
You do it.
I've been thinking about a rebrand soon, so I think I know you're down with it.
Fine.
I wasn't even gonna run it by you because I knew you'd be like, all right.
Yeah.
I knew you'd be like, okay.
No.
Yeah, I knew you'd be fine with it. Anyways, so they hung out. The Texas shooter and the Buffalo shooter were in the same Discord. The Texas shooter had extensive conversations with an ex-federal agent, right? Who was just like hanging out, right?
Strange.
Just hanging out, weird.
Was he getting paid to do that?
I don't know. He's retired.
I was going to say.
He's air quotes retired.
Was he on his off time?
He was retired.
Weird.
So also, like, I mean, I guess I've been in Discords. There's no age feature, so I suppose the people I'm 30, so I suppose the people I'm talking. I knew you. I don't even think you know what Discord is.
No, I only know it.
And that's that's a good thing. That's not a pejorative.
Here's what I know.
That's a good thing.
Here's what I know about Discord. It's a chat.
That's it. That's all it is.
That's what I know.
Right. So yes.
I also happen to be right about that.
Yeah. So so you go in. So basically, just to give you a quick rundown.
Do you need like a password?
So here's the thing. It's like open source.
It's any chat.
Yeah. So anyone
with less boobs.
So the guys who made it because up until that point you would have to pay like a monthly fee for something like this.
Okay.
So another missive from the Nerd Archives. I know you like when I showed you the Far Cry 5 song, the Rifle by Your Side song.
I did.
So there's another missive. So you had, back in the day, you had TeamSpeak and Ventrilo, which were programs. I know you're going to say that.
Okay.
Which were the OG nerd programs that you would use on your computer, right? Yeah. So like if you had a PlayStation or an Xbox, you use Xbox's thing.
Yeah,
but if you're on your computer and you're playing a game with people, back in the day, the games didn't have chat functions in them. So you had to do it some other way. And most games would allow you to type to people, but like that's slower. You want to be able to talk to your friends, whatever. So you'd use TeamSpeak or Ventrilo, which were outside programs, and then you would have to like buy or rent a server for like $5 or $10 or $20 a month, like depending on which package you chose.
Like, because it takes so much.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Which, when you're an adult, like isn't really a huge deal. Like think of like if you're like 25, 30, and you and your friends like have a couple different games you like to play, you'd be like, all right, fucking everybody pitch in, or just one of you would just do it because it's not a lot of money.
Yeah.
Right? And you'd be like, I already pay for Netflix or whatever, so fine, right? Mm-hmm. Or whatever subscription-based thing you have. But if you're like a teenager, if you're like, or a kid, if you're like 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, and you don't have a credit card, and you don't have a debit card,
and you
can't
like your
pay
parents, for it, or you find a way to pay for it.
Yeah, and you don't have a job because we made it illegal for kids to work in the United States. Like you can't get a job until you're like 17.
Until you're like 39.
Yeah, right? Put them back in the mines. Put the little fuckers back in the mines. See how gay they are after they spend a couple weeks in the mines.
I'll see you. Okay. Yes.
Yeah. You're not non-binary. You're non-breathing.
Yeah.
We'll get you a bionic lung from Tech Admiral Elon.
You're non-binary. You're non-binary.
You're non-biological. You have non-biological lungs.
You're non-binary because your cock got blown off by
a mining with TNT. We're bringing back nitroglycerin. We're bringing back nitroglycerin, and we're making the Mexicans pay for it.
You never went through puberty because you were 7 and you had dynamite blow off your nuts.
Exactly. That's honestly much more humane.
That's 1864 non-binary.
Much more humane than how they do it now.
Oh my god.
At least you get a cool story.
Oh my god, way cooler.
Discord. So Discord, So the difference is
like fantastic thing.
So back in the day, if you were a teenager, you like couldn't do it. You had to use someone else's server or like your friend who could get his parents' credit card, right? It was like more difficult. So the barrier for entry wasn't just like clicking a button on your computer. Now Discord, you just download Discord, like you go to discord.com, you download it. And then you open it up and you have to get invited to a server.
The point of this is you don't have to buy a physical piece of
hardware. No, you don't have to buy anything. It's totally free.
And that's Discord.
Totally free.
That's the whole thing.
It's not like Facebook where you create a profile and then you like friend people.
Yeah.
It's more like you
a chat,
start
right?
It's just a chat, but there's voice chat and there's text chat. And in text chat, you can send pictures and links and have icons.
There's a bunch of dicks on there?
Yeah. Yes. And they become, it's kind of like Reddit, honestly.
Yeah, okay.
It's a chat and voice-based Reddit. And it doesn't have subreddits and stuff like Reddit, but in terms of how it interacts, it's like a forum and like a meeting ground.
And it's supposed to be under like the auspice of a topic.
Yeah.
Or a shared
interest. It's not, Discord's not like that. It's just, you have Discord number 5578.
Okay.
And when you open it, you can either get invited to someone's server. Now, you don't need a direct invite from a person.
And that's kind of like permanent?
Yeah.
Like you just always have it open?
If you want to, yeah.
Yeah. Well, you know what I mean. Like, it's
and you can add multiple different Discord servers like to your list, and you can jump through all of them. So like one of them could be you and your friends. One of them could be like you and like the guys you knew from college.
Yeah.
One of them could be like your cousins. One of them could be like just people you met online who like the same games.
Chat?
It's group chat.
Yeah.
It's like group chat and voice chat, but with a social media feature.
Yeah.
And it's totally free, and anyone can make one. So any person.
Are there ads on it?
No.
How do they make money?
I don't know.
Is there a company?
Yeah, the guys
like
who
Discord is like a.
I'm pretty sure the guys
company?
who made it are like were when they originally started. I'm sure they're probably evil. I haven't looked into them. Like I'm sure they're probably evil.
If you had to guess,
if I had to
would it be
guess,
a better guess that they're altruistic or ontologically evil?
If something's free, you're the product.
Yeah, absolutely.
So that's always what I've thought with Discord. Yeah. If something's free, you're the product. So I don't know how they're monetizing that. I don't know how they're acting on it, but they definitely are. And as you said, it's more likely they're evil than good.
Yeah.
Right. Yes. So I'm sure they're evil, but when they started Discord, they said we're doing this as a commitment to open source, free stuff for people, blah blah blah.
Yeah, they all they all sound like John Lennon.
Yeah, right. So I don't know. Maybe they are good-hearted nerds, but anyone can make a Discord community.
Yeah,
and they're based on invite, and some of them, I believe there's like. I only use the one for me and my friends. I'm not by no means an expert. I'm sure you could probably like password protect your Discord.
Yeah, right.
Where like. When you go, if you start a server, you can go on a page that says, click here to copy your URL.
Yeah.
You send it to someone, they click the URL, they get in your server.
Yeah.
I'm sure there's probably a way to where you could put a password on that if you really wanted to.
Right.
But these things are like...
The idea is that doesn't happen.
If you're not into weird, sketchy, school shooter, non-binary pronoun Discord, like you probably wouldn't go to the Discord that both of the mass shooters were in.
You wouldn't be in there.
You know what I mean? Like I wouldn't go to that Discord. Most people... around wouldn't go to that Discord, so it's very like, insular, right?
Yeah.
So like theoretically, anyone could go to it, and you could go to like whatever forum or game or Facebook or Instagram page that they put their Discord invite on.
Yeah.
But maybe they don't do that. Maybe you just need to get invited.
Yeah.
So
well, there isn't a way for you to get in it unless people want you.
Yeah, you need the invite.
That's the whole point.
Yeah, you need the invite.
The whole point is that you can't infiltrate it.
Yeah. So the reason why I make the difference is say like you made a video game.
Yeah.
Say like whether you're a big company or a medium or a small company, say you made a video game and you like put the video on Reddit.
Yeah.
And it was popular.
Yeah.
You could say like, hey, like follow us on social media.
Right.
Like here's our like Instagram, here's our Twitter, and here's our Discord.
Yeah.
Like if you want to join our Discord, we're gonna be putting in like communication from the developers.
Yeah.
And you're starting to see more of this happening as like streaming and Twitch and stuff like that is becoming like bigger. So they hung out in the same Discord server, which there was probably hundreds, if not thousands, of people in that Discord server.
Yeah.
So that's not really conclusive evidence of anything.
It's not enough to.
So I it is interesting. Yeah, it's not by any means a smoking gun.
Yeah.
I think what's more concerning is he was talking to a Fed.
Right.
And like you look at the last few fuck ups the FBI has done, like in Michigan and a couple other people. Couple other places.
I think they were distracted by something.
Maybe.
Do you think like
what, boy pussy?
No, like something over in like Eastern Europe or something. Was there something like
maybe
that the FBI was preoccupied with for the last like 7 years? And like
I said, boy pussy.
And like somewhere in like Eastern Europe, kind of on the border between Poland and like Germany.
You must mean
that one.
You must mean the country next to the most evil, crazy, satanic, right-wing monster Vladimir Putin.
No, I meant everything up until you said right wing, and that applies to Ukraine.
Yeah.
In actual reality.
Yeah, I'm obviously being.
But you know,
it was funny. I was trying to think of all like the worst things leftists say, and then I said satanic, and I'm like, no wait, they like that. They would think that's cool.
They will. Yes,
like
exactly.
I can't say that. That's
they
wrong.
Would think that's cool.
Yeah.
Yeah, but anyway, the point is, so the FBI, because these things are zero sum, and they are. If you take one resource somewhere, you put them into another, and this is even just not this is a normie take, right? Mm-hmm. The normie take is, the boomer, whatever, Sean Hannity take, which is also happens to coincidentally be the correct one, but in the wrong vacuum, would be, well, they were too busy creating the Steele dossier to monitor or track any school shooters.
Yeah.
You know what the FBI was doing? The FBI was colluding to remove Donald Trump and Marjorie Taylor Greene and Thomas Massie from office.
Yeah.
So they were not actually monitoring school shooters.
And put parents in jail. And,
that's the best case scenario.
And all the other things that we and the dissident right-wingers have been talking about for like 3 years. And like every Fox News besides Tucker host is now just starting to talk about. Now that Trump's gone. Now that Trump's gone.
It's okay. Now
they can go hard again.
Now when there's no stakes and there's no actual work to be done to defend.
And your words have no weight.
And that and won't result in any outcomes. Except like Twitter something.
Except getting all the fucking shithead boomer normicons who watch your show to donate to Mitch McConnell to get him reelected. Because that's like,
what happens?
Oh, let's turn it up now.
God,
that New York shithead's gone, so let's turn it up.
Yeah,
so I mean, the shooter talked to the FBI guy, whatever. I mean, I'm sure they'll have a good excuse. Oh no, we just both like fucking model trains.
Do you think the FBI will get away with it?
Yeah, I do actually.
Oh, you do?
Surprisingly enough, I do.
Huh. Yeah. But we live in a normal functioning society.
Yep, sure do.
We have checks and balances.
Yep.
We have the rule of law in America.
Diversity is our strength, dude.
So you don't think that
I don't appreciate your tone this close to Floydness.
I
don't appreciate that.
I mean, I'll take the Sean Hannity take, but
it's better late than never.
How happy did it make you that Obama tweeted about George Floyd?
Dude, oh my God.
Is that not like the best
That was one of the most deranged things I've ever read,
That's
dude.
the best thing that's happened to me since my kids were born.
I know you're...
I've never been so happy to see... I mean...
It was insane.
That's insane. I'm making a joke, by the way. That is the most incredible thing I've ever seen on the internet.
Insane.
The legacy...
Insane, dude.
The legacy normie, but also like psyop deep state candidate, like malfunctioning during like the wires are getting crossed.
Yeah,
it's just like
he's running out of adrenochrome.
Dude, the fucking
he's running out.
Dude, the blood.
Patriots are in control.
It's just like
Patriots are in control.
Dude, it's just like George Floyd, Ukraine mask, Juneteenth, CRT. Sleep.
Climate change.
The climate change.
Yeah.
And what, like, oh my God.
Yeah.
That was
insane.
Thing of beauty.
Listen, I know some of your kids are dead. I know.
I'm just saying.
I know some of your kids are dead, but do any of them look like could be my son?
Yeah.
Anyone look like not really.
Yeah, right. Well, you know what we should have done?
Yeah.
And
you're a bunch of Mexicans.
You know,
and the record will show that I was actually tougher on the Mexicans than Donald Trump.
You know who would have killed that trans school shooter? Fucking George Zimmerman. That guy is
he should have
went. Yeah. That is my homeboy. We should have got George. If we got George Zimmerman, he would have shot that faggy kid right in the back of the head.
Maybe
he would have kicked him down on the ground.
Maybe that's the ultimate psyop, is they're gonna unleash clone George Zimmerman.
Maybe we'll just have. That would be one. That would be a virtuous one.
I don't know, dude.
We would have.
Trust me, I get it.
This is what I mean.
I'm not like.
Do you know anyone psychotic enough to make a joke that it would be heroic if George Zimmerman shot a trans kid in the head?
Yes, but only on Twitter. Twitter's not really real, so no.
What human being would make a joke as fucked up as that?
Most of the people I hang out with on Twitter.
That's like the 8th most fucked up thing I've said today.
Yeah, well, I mean, there's a certain degree of revisionism that you have to deal with in any situation.
That is a crazy. This is also why I couldn't do I don't think I could write that joke.
Stand-up's
that
hard,
only just
dude.
came up.
Stand-up is
although
hard.
I do think about,
it's really hard. I give those guys a lot of credit.
I remember a lot of things that I say in like funny anecdotal situations, and I'm pretty sure I could spin that into like a routine for a while. Like, you want to know how to get rid of school shootings and kill trans kids?
Yeah.
That is like a funny
You're right. You are direct, and you like to talk, and you're also a psycho, type A personality. Where if like
it's fucking
say like you never met your wife.
Yeah.
And
my God.
Or like it just like you met her and like
kids would be like,
and it didn't work out, and you decided instead of getting a job and having a family, I'm actually gonna move back to New York and live in in Long Island and then commute into the city and do stand-up and just, like, rip 10 beers a night and just, like, go off. I think after 10 years, you'd be good at stand-up. You'd have some other problems. You'd have some other problems. But I think you'd make a decent stand-up.
Yes.
Because that's just how you are.
That's funny.
You know?
That's so funny.
You'd be and that's what they all say is it just takes a while.
It just takes time.
All of them say it just takes a while and you have to dedicate yourself to it and you have to follow the process and, like, take it seriously. And you're pretty good at that kind of thing. I think that suits your personality type.
That's true. You're right. It is just 5 years and it will happen.
Yeah, and I bet a lot of comedians feel the same way about a lot of the direct stuff you do, but they know that to make money, they need to be more appealing to, like, a broader audience.
That's true.
You know what I mean?
You are right about that.
And, like, it's not that they don't believe it, it's just that, like, this is how I make money. And I gotta get my shots in.
Exactly.
You know what I mean? I gotta lace them in there.
Absolutely.
Without too many articles getting written about me.
Well, you know
so I can still get bookings.
Well, this is where you're good, because it's funny because you actually contextualize a lot of this. Because I think about shit like this, and it's like, people think, like, the Ricky Gervais special was, like, edgy. And, like, good. I'm glad it happened.
Yeah, it was funny.
Whatever, good, fine, funny. That isn't even, like... That's actually, like, safe subversive at this point. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
Like, you need to, like, really fucking go at the jugular and talk about George Zimmerman, like, being the hero of Uvalde.
Mm-hmm.
But, you know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
So, like, and I think... Here's the thing. I think, like, 12% of the population realizes that that's, like, the funniest thing they've ever heard.
Oh, for sure.
But 88% is, like, actually, even if they're not, like, horrified, they're, like, just the NPC, like, that's just, it's like fucking garlic to a vampire.
I'm gonna show you.
They're just, like, gonna explode collapse into ashes.
I'm gonna show you some stuff after this.
Remember, I defended Al Jolson on this show.
I do.
Like,
on our, like, third episode.
And, like,
I do.
In, like, a very real way.
Yes, you defended Al Jolson.
Like,
that was one of the only times I found it necessary to be like, so I don't agree.
Yeah.
Like, I'm really good at just, like, I can just listen to anything and be like, okay. And people are like, well, how could you do that? I'd be like, I don't know, because I just listen to people. It's just like, like, it doesn't really affect my day. Like, but it's crazy. Yeah, that's better. I'd rather listen to crazy stuff than, like, people talk about football. Like, you know what I mean?
Oh,
like,
hell yeah.
It doesn't, it's not going to impart my thinking.
Right.
You know what I mean? I'm like, oh, they said some fucking wild shit. You know? All right. Okay. Let's see what else we got. Okay.
When this guy over here.
I don't know. Maybe I'm just fucked up, but I'd like rather listen to wild shit all the time than just, like, mundanity.
Oh, most people do.
Yeah, I mean.
Right.
You know, and that's not to say, you know, there's a.
What's the funniest show? Like, what's the So I really like the last Finnegan show.
Yeah.
And I think it's very funny, and I think it's, but he's even, like, a big old cuck now.
I don't listen to the radio. I don't know.
Good. Well, so he's not on the radio anymore. He
has his own thing. He told me about it. He got in trouble and he started his own thing.
Exactly. And he's good, and he's kind of cucky or whatever. It doesn't matter. But there's really no, like, maybe it was Norm. He was not like, it's like there's no, like, dice. You know what I'm saying?
I mean, it was Norm.
It was.
Rest
it
in
really
peace.
was.
It was Norm.
Like,
Norm was the
that deeply closeted gay man bit is fucking brilliant.
So I'll show you some stuff.
I've ever heard in my life.
I'll send you some links or whatever. But the two, in my opinion, right now, the funniest guy out there right now is Sam Hyde.
Okay.
So I mentioned a little bit earlier about the memes, but he's the funniest guy out there right now.
Yeah.
He had a show on Adult Swim that got canceled.
Okay.
So, like, people who know Sam Hyde all know this, but I know you don't. So, like, he had a show on Adult Swim and it got canceled.
Yeah.
Because they did a skit called Jews Rock.
Okay.
And, like, you remember, like, back in the day, like, Nickelodeon shows where kids would be, like, dancing around. And they'd be, like, a mascot, like a dinosaur person. And they'd be, like, singing some stupid song. He made a scene like that, but he called it Jews Rock.
Okay.
And the whole song was Jews. That was the only lines in the whole song, like, sung on a tune.
Yeah.
And while they filmed it, there was another camera going over all the production crew of the show.
Yeah.
And it hit, like, some, like, junior producers or middle management, and they were clearly like...
Yeah.
And then it hit the senior management, the partners who, like, run everything, and they, like, weren't even paying attention.
Right.
We're just, like, could not give a shit less.
Yeah,
like, did not hear it was going on, did not know it was going... You could tell they were just in their own world.
Zoned out, whatever.
That got him canceled. But they had a bunch of other episodes and other stuff. But that's like 2014.
Okay.
He's done a lot of stuff since then. And he's just the funniest guy out there.
Yeah.
I think the other funniest guy is Shane Gillis. You watch Shane Gillis?
I know. Sure.
I think Shane Gillis is one of the funniest guys out there.
Yeah.
And I think after that, it kind of gets, like, exponentially
worse.
Less Yeah.
Dude, like Bill Burr fucking stinks.
Bill Burr sold out, dude. I don't listen to Bill Burr anymore. Stinks, dude. He sold out.
He stinks.
I don't know what he did, but he sold out.
He stinks.
And I have too much admiration for him to like really dig too deep into what had happened with him.
Yeah.
I was like, wow, dude. Yeah, I mean, my mom's a black lady. Like, I'm fine with black ladies, and not all of them suck.
I know.
But like, he
would never say a joke like that. Now.
Well, but he
should say a joke like that.
He's been married to her for
joke.
Well, he's been married to her for mad long, and he only like the last 5 years like went this way.
I'm joking.
Right?
I'm joking.
So I don't know what happened to him, and it was one of those things where it's like you see your boy who's like a vegan now, and you're like.
Yeah.
It's like you don't hate him. You don't hate him. You feel bad for him.
You do. There's empathy.
And you're
the feeling you have is empathy.
And it's like that potential.
Yeah, you know absolutely. Yeah,
not that he's obviously achieved his potential and then some. But like,
hey man,
I don't know. It's like the same feeling.
You can have one or the other, dude. You can have fucking universal acclaim, or you can be niche and
that's what
you
can
be niche and middle class.
So yeah,
or you can be fucking global and rich.
So you ready for? We got the whole play-by-play. Are you ready for the deep schizo? The deep schizo.
This is where we should close up. Yes.
Yeah, you're right. Yeah, this will probably be.
I'm getting tired.
All right,
I'm running out of steam.
So we already established all the other details, right?
You're good at it, by the way.
Thanks. I was what?
Good at it.
Oh, thanks. I appreciate that. So the school Uvalde, where the Texas shooter was, they used
fucked up, dude.
An AI monitoring program.
Oh no.
It was a software that was designed to monitor social media posts of students and their online presence, right?
Okay.
And also, I assume the internal systems. So like
just Facebook.
No, like everything.
Yeah. Okay.
No. They were like it wasn't like the school. It was like a legit tech company.
Yeah. To do it for the school.
So this is a company.
This is a real thing.
This is a real thing.
Okay.
So it's called Social Sentinel. Right?
Sentinel.
Social Sentinel.
Oh my god, that's so crazy.
They were Skynet. They were bought out by a company. They were bought out along and like merged with a couple other companies, I believe in 2020.
Yeah. And
they became a company called Navigate 360. Now, one of the companies that was part of this created and sold the Alice program, which was one of the most commonly purchased school emergency preparedness
software features.
Right? So like schools would buy this to have them to teach them drills for school shootings, right?
God, this is so crazy.
Now they also as part of their packages also had fire drills and a pipe burst or a tornado if you're in the middle. Yeah,
emergency preparedness industry.
But one of the main features was school shootings, right? And it was the subject. This Alice program was the subject of some media controversy.
Okay.
Because not only were people like, wow, is this really where we're at in America where we have companies selling school shooter preparedness drills to schools?
Yeah.
But also people were like, your program sucks.
Okay.
And a lot of their program...
also bad.
Yeah. Well, remember, this was the media backlash. And the thing they didn't like about it was it had certain steps or lessons.
If you see a black kid come on campus,
make
sure he doesn't come in.
No. The program taught them to confront the shooter.
Right.
So that was what people were mad about.
That was a fucked up joke that I made before there about the black kid. I didn't actually mean that.
Yeah.
So keep going.
Well, then we get into a whole other conversation about what are all the school. Yeah, the school shooters are white, but the mass shooters aren't. Look into that.
If
you want. There's a difference between a mass and a school shooting. Every school shooting is a mass shooting.
Yes,
Not every mass shooting is a school shooting.
Yeah.
All right? Look into the numbers. Don't take my word for it.
You're doing a really earnest and excellent job of explaining this, and I'm belittling it with cheap racist jokes.
That's fine.
So keep going.
That's part of the flavor. Part of the je ne sais quoi. The panache.
Keep going.
The cash.
Keep going. So this program was actually too good because it told the protocol to confront the
so the Alice program, it taught a lot of stuff, but from what I understand... There were things that said, if they come in the door, try to hit him with the fire extinguisher or some shit.
Okay.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
That's not actually what it said.
Confront the shooter. By all means possible, because if you don't, it will get worse.
He's going to kill everybody. Right.
If you hide, he'll kill you.
Yeah, and so, people be stories wow, this program taught people to hide behind desks and, throw books at school shooters. Why can't we just go take all the Republicans' guns?
Yeah, right.
You know what I mean? That's what I meant by media backlash,
right.
So... That was one of the companies that got bought along with Social Sentinel to form Navigate 360.
Okay.
Which is a conglomerate, right?
Sure.
Now Social Sentinel, I don't know if it ceased to operate. I don't think it did.
Yeah.
I think it just was under the umbrella network of Navigate 360.
Yeah.
Right. And so Uvalde bought the AI monitoring program that was literally designed, if you read it, to catch mass shooters.
Yeah, okay.
Right?
Yeah.
Social Sentinel's Instagram page is filled with all their Instagram stuff, but some of that is their fundraising and charity work.
Okay. Yeah.
And their fundraising and charity work covers a lot of different things.
Yeah.
But two of the things it covers
oh my God.
are LGBTQ plus charities.
Okay.
I guess that makes sense for a company that their main clients are education super left wing, right?
Sounds real.
So, okay, I suppose you could find a spurious connection between that and the fact that the shooter was a pronoun person.
Yeah, right.
But I don't have any connectors there.
I don't.
Right?
It seems like a red herring.
But the one that's more interesting is the National School Board Association.
Okay.
Now, I believe the National School Board Association is the same group. It's a voluntary association of school boards across the country.
Yeah, I know that they were big during COVID.
They were the ones that wrote the request,
they were big
air quotes,
yeah.
to the Biden Department of Justice to do something about the parents who were mad about their kids being taught blood libel and gay porn and getting raped in bathrooms. Right? They're like, how dare these parents speak out against us raping their kids in the bathrooms? Feds, Joe Biden, please do something about it. So Joe Biden's like, oh, hey, man.
All right.
you gotta let the transgenders molest your kids.
How about Merrick Garland? You gotta tell you to come in and he'll shoot the shit with his shit.
You gotta let a guy in a dress rape a girl in a bathroom. And then when her dad gets mad and goes to the school board meeting,
shoot him.
You gotta arrest him. Yeah. That's the thing that actually happened.
Why doesn't Merrick Garland just kiss this guy on the mouth and then shoot him in the head?
Yeah.
Why not?
Yeah. So Joe Biden's DOJ, that's when they changed the guidelines on domestic terrorism.
Right.
Because of the National School Board Association's request.
Yeah, right.
Who, Social Sentinel, the mass shooter software scanner company that was being used by the Uvalde shooter school. Skynet. While they were donating money to the National School Board Association and helping them put on charity fundraisers.
Yeah.
Right? So now, that's 2019.
So what's the implication?
So that's in 2019.
So how does that end up? Yeah.
I don't have any implication. I told you, this is a deep schizo theory.
Yeah.
Deep schizo theories don't involve evidence or proof. That's gay.
Yeah.
Okay? All right? So they donated extensively to the National School Board Association. They got bought out by Skynet.
Yeah, but you're leaving me. I'm not finished yet.
Yeah, I'm not finished.
You know what I mean?
Yeah, I know.
How does this get?
We need another episode.
Where? Okay. Well,
you know what I'm saying? I need more info. I need more 4chan threads.
Yeah. What's the next?
I need more 4chan threads.
What's the next thing? Because I'm with you.
Yeah.
I believe everything you just said completely. Yeah. Until we have no. You know what I'm saying?
Right. No. So, so we have a school shooter who was talking to a retired Fed in the same Discord server as another mass shooter that happened less than 2 weeks ago.
Yeah.
Who went to a high school that was using software specifically designed to find mass shooters using social media.
Right.
Now they're all owned by Navigate 360, which is owned by a venture capitalist firm, an investment firm guy.
State Street, Black
whose
Roger
whole business is in this mass shooter market. Right?
So are you? So okay. So I know how to finish this.
All of their products are designed around school preparedness programs,
but they're actually not.
No. Yeah. So there's a few ways to look at it. There's a few ways to look at it. Right. So one of the ways to look at it is this is the normie take, which is they're cynically cashing in on a societal problem.
Sure.
Right.
And it's chaotic neutral. Right.
Yeah.
They're just
that's the normie take. Right.
Yeah. Right.
The kind of conspiratorial take is...
not
the
Klaus Schwab backed all of this.
So not...
It is creating school shooters.
So not the kind of...
And is actually creating the pipeline and creating the breach in the wall, which will allow for this to happen.
Correct.
So not only are they incubating this, they're paying off the security guards to look away.
Yeah, basically...
therefore ensuring that it happens.
Yes, correct. It's a snake eating its tail.
I've come.
Now
I'm finished.
Now you've got it.
You've got it. Now I've ejaculated.
You knew exactly. Yep.
Now I've ejaculated. That is the reason.
Yes.
So I don't see we figured it out.
We're done here, folks.
Good job.
It's over.